and welcome to the YouTube live Q&A stream. It is Saturday. We usually do this on Friday. For those of you just tuning in, my name is Roberto Blake. I'm a creative entrepreneur. I'm a YouTube certified marketer, and I'm helping you create something awesome today. Welcome back to the channel. Today we got a couple of things to talk about. I want to talk about the Casey Neistat Logan Paul interview because a lot of people in the community have been asking my opinion on this, and I want to talk about that. I also want to read you guys an article that I wrote during Logan Paul's initial controversy with the suicide forest in Japan. Let's see if that article that I wrote aged well, and I want you to think about that whenever you're watching the Casey interview, because it's a really weird situation where Logan actually blocked me on Twitter, and there's a part of me that wonders if he ever read my article and if that had something to do with it. I also want to talk about new YouTube features. We have a new YouTube feature for live streamers that I believe is actually going to roll out to the far majority of channels, not just bigger channels. So I want to talk about that. I want to talk about the merchandise options for YouTubers as well, because that's a feature integrated with Teespring. And then at the end of the stream, we're going to do a couple of very short, quick, like 5-minute or less YouTube channel reviews, give you guys some feedback on your channels, but only if you honor the rules that are in the description of the super chats. And those things are super chat rules. They don't guarantee you a channel review, but it is putting you in the pool for it, and I'm going to pick those just based on how all of this plays out toward the end. If you have questions and you want to get my attention, super chats help. And again, if you throw $5 or $10 and say review, it means you're not looking at the rules that are in the description. So if that's something you're doing, read the rules first so that you're not disappointed when things don't go the way that you think they're going. Because I made the rules very clear, and I have to respect and honor the rules, So let's go ahead and dive into it. But I also want to remind you guys that today's live stream is sponsored by our good friends at TubeBuddy. We have a discount for you guys in the description below, tubebuddy.com/awesome. TubeBuddy is the best tool for growing your YouTube channel. It not only helps with YouTube SEO, but it also helps you with A/B testing for awesome thumbnails. You guys know I talk about thumbnails all the time. That's why I built the YouTube Starter Kit. It also helps you with productivity. It helps you with measuring your analytics well. And there are so many other features, and we'll talk about those at some point here in the stream. So make sure you're using the discount code in the below. Use discount code Roberto's Buddy at tubebuddy.com/awesome. Thank you, TubeBuddy, for sponsoring today's stream. All right, so let's check out you guys over here in the chat while I queue up my screen and we get into all of the things that I want to talk about today, because we're going to talk about the Logan Paul thing. We're going to talk about YouTube features. We're going to answer a few of your questions, especially those who are doing Super Chat. We're going to also talk a little bit about the merch thing that I mentioned earlier. And also, I want to talk about something that happened in the YouTube tech community. It's amazing the power that online creators have. If you guys don't know, Dave2D, and which is David Lee, and Jonathan Morrison actually got Apple and Adobe to flinch. They did some reviews and tests around the performance of the new MacBook Pro 2018 that's not even been out like 2 weeks yet, and also Adobe Premiere, and both Adobe decided to update their software, Apple updated their software, and a bug that was causing what's called thermal throttling, making the laptop not perform as well due to its heat. And I want to show you that the power of online content creators is real, because these two gentlemen and other people in the tech community got two of the biggest companies, two of the most profitable brands in the world, within a week to change their position, to admit fault, and to do better by the consumers that purchase their products. And I think that's an amazing success story for the entire community. I think that's super inspiring. So yeah, I just want to tip the hat to David Lee and to Jonathan Morrison and to all of the people in the YouTube tech community who called Apple and Adobe out on this and asked them to do better and worked with them to make a better product that all of us can enjoy as creators. So I think that's really dope. So just wanted to kind of give a little bit of a nod and a shout out to those folks. And also shout out to my friend Viper, who is here in the stream. How's it going, buddy? Lil PTV, Parker Panel, how are you? True Financials, good to see you in the stream again. Awesome. So, let's see here. Oh, we have one quick question that I do want to answer. Someone's asking how many subs are required for live streaming. Believe it or not, you can start live streaming on YouTube right away. You just have to apply for it in your dashboard. Your channel has to be more than 24 hours old, I believe, and you have to give it 24 hours after applying for it. And you have to verify your channel with your phone number, and you can start live streaming. More than 90% of the features in YouTube are available even with 0 subs from day one. I recommend that your channel exist for 30 days. So those are things that I want to point out. So yeah, you can absolutely do that. Jennifer Morales says, "Hey, Roberto, I met you at VidCon. It was so inspiring to listen to you speak." Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. All right, so let's get into today's stuff. Let's go ahead and toggle over the screen and cue this up because this one is going to be lit. So, YouTube creator, one of my favorite YouTube creators, Casey Neistat, did an interview with Logan Paul, controversial YouTube creator. If you guys are not up to speed, Logan had a controversial video in Japan's suicide forest near Mount Fuji. It's a place where, unfortunately, many people in Japan go who are depressed to take their own life and not to be discovered, usually so they don't bring shame on their family, because that's a big part of the culture over in the East now. Logan did a lot of things that could be considered either insensitive or culturally insensitive while he was in Japan, but this one was the one that made international headlines because he showcased a dead body on YouTube that he discovered in the suicide forest, and it was also in the thumbnail. And that controversy came from outside of his fan base and his community. His fan base and community weren't the ones who had a problem with it. It was the media, it was people in the YouTube community, and rightfully so, in my opinion. So that transpired maybe 7 months ago, and Logan's career has taken a hit ever since, but he is trying to quote-unquote redeem himself in the eyes of the world and in the eyes of the community and not be a social media pariah. And Casey Neistat, I don't think, was enabling that. I think that Casey wanted the ability to have the conversation because what Logan did didn't just affect Logan, didn't just affect his audience. He affected the perception of what a YouTuber is because of how popular he is on the platform. He has over 17 million subscribers. I think he had 15 million or more when this controversy happened. The video got about 6 million views and over 500,000 likes before he took it down. YouTube also didn't act and didn't take this down. YouTube allowed this video to be on the trending page. Now, in my opinion, the trending page doesn't give you more exposure on YouTube. The trending page is indicative of like something possibly going viral. But if you guys want to talk about this in the comments or in the live stream, type in a number 3 if you actually watch videos from the trending page on a regular basis. Type in the number 5 if you almost never use the trending page to watch videos on a regular basis. And by a regular basis, I would mean more than 3 times a week. So if you don't watch videos if you don't go to the trending tab in YouTube to find videos more than 3 times a week, if you don't do that, type number 5. If you actually use the trending page more than 3 times a week, type in the number 3. Let's get some real-time data going and see who actually cares about the trending page. Because I've always been of the opinion that people don't really use the trending page. And you guys can see for yourself. Now, that being said, YouTube could be considered as acting irresponsibly in that regard, but it was also the holidays. This was New Year's Eve. So it's possible that they were understaffed, mistakes were made. If you believe that the trending page is purely curated, which Keemstar is under the impression that YouTube specifically decides what does and doesn't go on the trending page. I've seen evidence that that's not true by using VPN and seeing that it is algorithmic because international trending page is very different than the US trending page, so that has to be algorithmic. I will say there might be some curation, but I don't think it's completely handpicked by YouTube. Almost no human involvement. If you guys have been experiencing YouTube, you realize how not human it is. you realize that it's overly reliant on robots that have no context. It's the biggest complaint we as content creators make, is how not human the platform is. So I just felt like, you know, I would bring some attention to that, in my opinion, because I think it matters. So, you know, that's something that I personally, when I look at it, I don't see the ability to say, hey, the trending page is absolutely curated by YouTube and humans. But anyway, Casey Neistat wanted the opportunity to have this interview with Logan Paul, and I think it's really interesting. I'm going to play a real quick clip of it for you to get some context, and then I'm going to give you some of my opinions on this, because it has the community divided. Logan's a very divisive figure. You guys are finding that in the comments in the live section right now. So let's enjoy this clip together real quick, and I'll explain my thoughts on it.
Is it possible for Logan Paul to make a comeback, or am I going to be a failed YouTuber and fall and crawl into a hole like half the world wants me to do?
Just ask directly, is this a fluff piece to make people feel better about Logan Paul?
No, not at all. This is
where you're going to see Logan's amazing media training and his abilities as an actor when he gives this response. One, it was way too easy when Casey said, is this a fluff piece to make Logan Paul look like a good guy? This documentary that he's making for his redemption story about how all this happened. And you'll hear him explain or give his rationalization here in a moment.
Making content throughout the years, I try to be as unbiased as possible. And when you say fluff piece, like what? Because
like a bullshit video that's just like, look, you should feel bad. Here's a way to characterize it. Is the video about how you've learned to better empathize with others, or is the video about making it easier for people to sympathize with you?
I don't think people should, can, or will sympathize with me. Let's be honest, Casey. Like, what I did, there's no distracting people.
And yet, that's exactly what he's tried to do ever since it happened. Ever since it happened, he's tried to rehabilitate his image, tried to distract people from it, and has tried to cast himself as the victim, cast himself as, you'll hear him say it, the most hated person in the world, far from the truth. And he still has massive support from millions of people, and so he shifts the narrative to him being a victim and having to quote unquote prove himself. But he's never done anything in this interim of this last 7 months to prove himself. He immediately followed up with a suicide video PSA and all of those things, but again, it was something that felt very coached, very rehearsed, very insincere, and a lot of people called him out on it. Yes, it got massive views. No, he didn't lose subscribers over it, but you'll see that he's at least self-aware enough to realize that subscribers, and measuring that as to say whether or not he was right or wrong, is false power, and it's a false narrative, and he'll at least admit to that much. But again, part of that is just because he's saying things that Casey wants to hear. You'll see for yourself in this video how much he wants people's approval.
There's no, well, here's what I tried to do, and this is why it's okay. There's none of that. It's an unbiased, objective story that captures how something like that can happen, and what went wrong in my life that I thought that was a good idea. Because at the end of the day, I'm the one who has to look in the mirror and say, that was my decision. And that's a hard thing to do. It's even like hard talking about it right now with you, because up until that point in my life, it was really only wins. It was only success. It was only consistent growth, and everything was going so well. And I got so caught up with my actions being validated by millions of people, I forgot to be a human being in that situation.
Here's the thing. Since Logan was about 16 or 17 years old, he's been having his actions validated by that many people. when he says, well, what went wrong in my life to get to this point? He just said exactly what went wrong in his life to get him to this point. It was his power. It was the fact that when you're young and now you are getting early success and you don't have authority figures and mentors in your life to rein you in and to help you really understand how to grow into that power. You're literally a child and you've been handed attention, fame, millions of dollars, acceptance, access to the tools and levers of power. You're only going to be irresponsible. And someone's saying not power but influence, but no, influence is power. It's part of currency. Attention is currency. It's people's time and it's people's emotional energy. That's a form of power. There's no denying it. And then it's also the power that comes from the wealth associated with those feelings. And so in order to understand what happened and what went wrong in this situation and what went wrong with Logan, again, he's lacking self-awareness. You don't need a documentary, Logan, to paint the picture of what went wrong with you. You know exactly what went wrong with you. You were blinded by money and fame and power and attention, and you said it yourself. And because none of those things were being taken away from you, no matter what you did, you didn't know where the line was and you didn't know right from wrong because there was no consequence for you. And that's the problem. You see, YouTube elevates people and social media elevates people sometimes very young, sometimes very early, who have never had to take individual responsibility, have never had to be adults, or have never managed a certain amount of money. And so when you get that, when YouTube and social media platforms, Vine, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever it is, elevate people to a position of power and privilege and attention that they could have never gotten any other way, and they never built up to that when they go viral. This is why I'm against going viral. This is why I'm against virality, because while someone can make an argument that you are clever or talented or you work hard, it's not the same thing as truly earning your power through pain. Real power only comes through pain and time and suffering, because you also need the wisdom to wield that power appropriately, or it's inevitable that on a long enough timeline you'll be destroyed by your inability to understand the power that you wield. So again, overnight success, not so great. Now, I'm being hypercritical here, but if you hear in his own words and if you think about it, it is a self-destructive cycle and it's not something that's sustainable. So I mean, it goes on like this, but there's a supreme lack of self-awareness in terms of he feels he needs to make a documentary to explain himself when we all can clearly just see what happened here, and that there's any number of opportunities where in filming a dead body, you just stop. In editing a video of a dead body, you just stop and you don't try to excuse or validate it or do anything with this, and you just, I'll make something else. You had every opportunity to make something else and put something else out. It's really simple. It's really simple. But again,
and instead decided to be a content creator. And that's where I messed up.
Do you, it's even in there, there's a little, even in that response, there was like, maybe I'm being cynical, but there's a little whiff of it sounding like you see yourself in some capacity as a victim.
No, by no.
No, he just painted himself completely as a victim. He painted himself as a victim. He's saying no to Casey when Casey said, but everything he said was about him. None of this was about the young people who he showed a dead body to that he traumatized. None of it was about that. He didn't once mention the disrespect to the family that had to find out that their loved one passed away in this way only because of his video and the shame that they had to feel and the pain that they had to feel. He didn't acknowledge that once in this situation. So again, he failed to acknowledge the detriment to the audience, the people he let down, and the people who he traumatized with that video. He failed to acknowledge disrespecting the YouTube platform and fellow content creators and shaming them. He failed to acknowledge misrepresenting how Americans act abroad when we travel the world as an ambassador of his country. And then he, so in no way in what he just said to Casey, and Casey called him out on this, he just didn't go and lean a little harder, which, you know, you can argue that other people might have done that differently. I think Casey did a fine job, and I think Casey was trying to be human and not a content creator, unlike Logan, right? So in this thing, and I'm not gonna watch the whole video and pick apart the whole video with you guys, but I'm going to, like, I'm making a point here, because then we're gonna pivot and we're gonna have a conversation as a community. But he was making excuses for himself. He painted himself as the victim. He was talking about what went wrong in my life, and I risked losing everything, and I need a redemption story. None of it is about what he did and who he hurt and why this matters. None of that. He does try to weasel that in later in the interview. I mean, you can watch the interview. I've linked it down below in the description. You can watch for yourself. But again, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. This is a manufactured response, because he's manufacturing a documentary to manufacture a redemption story, when redemption isn't something you can manufacture. It's not something that you can produce on your own. Redemption is something that is given to you by others.
No means am I the victim here, and I guess it's sort of tough, because I want to make it very clear I am not the victim here, by no means.
Lip service.
And everything I say, I do need to not word it like that, because I'm not the victim. What I'm not afraid to do, though, is be vulnerable about this, and
he's not being
open up and say,
anything.
by no means, I know what I did was disgusting. It was wrong. It was an extreme, obviously, lapse in judgment, like I've said, but by no means am I the victim or claiming to be the victim.
Would you characterize this as a redemption story?
Watch this.
It's an attempted redemption story, is what it is. Are we still talking about the doc?
He said it's
that's what it is. That's what
redemption story.
Again. Will I come back?
He's manufacturing.
I say yes. That's what the doc is about. That's
a
what the
redemption
story
story.
Is it not? How long has it been since the 7 months? 6 months?
Yeah.
Is it not premature? Like, before you can tell a redemption story, there has to be an act of redemption.
True.
So what is that? What is the act of redemption been for Logan Paul?
It's not been done yet. That's what the doc is about. And
so wait a minute. You are trying to tell a redemption story. You're making a documentary that is about the redemption of Logan Paul, but you haven't done a redeeming act. There's been no act of contrition. He actually admits that there's been no act of contrition, and yet, again, so this documentary, just as Casey said early in the video, it's self-serving. It is self-serving. It is all about Logan Paul. It is self-serving. It is not about self-awareness. It is not about doing something redeemable. It is not about any of that. Is completely disingenuous. If you can make up your own mind, I'm telling you how I feel about it. But there's no way in my mind to take that any other way and to parse that any other way. I think it's a great thing that Casey did this interview, because this is Logan Paul revealing himself. This is Logan Paul telling you exactly who he is. And again, this is not me doing an expose or a roast video on this. This is me telling you, again, how I feel about this and why I think this is a problem. Because you see, the issue I have with this, and the reason I bring it up, and the reason I wrote an article about it, is it doesn't stop with Logan. There are literally millions of young people watching Logan, and guess what they want? They aspire to be a YouTuber. They'll tell you Logan is their role model, Logan is their hero, Logan is their world. And he is aware of that fact. And every move he makes is a calculation of what benefits Logan Paul and Logan Paul's brand. And I think that to think of it any other way is completely absurd. I think that if you take a hard look at his behavior in just the first few minutes of this interview, it is painfully clear that he is doing this for his own benefit. And again, he has a very young and impressionable audience that isn't going to be able to parse this. They're not going to be able to differentiate it. All they see is a person that they identify with, that lives a lifestyle that they aspire to, that makes them feel good about themselves and spreads a positive message and is funny and entertaining. It's not going to occur to them that maybe this is not somebody to emulate. It's not. So I just have a hard time like understanding why he would think that any of this is remotely okay. And it comes down, in my opinion, to a lack of self-awareness. We're going to watch just a little bit more of this, and then we're going to move on to our next segment.
Like, again, the whole idea of the Jesus Christ,
Dude, there's a Harley dealership.
This is crazy.
It's fine.
The whole idea of the doc is like we don't have plans for it. We don't plan on like profiting off it. If for whatever,
Are you gonna monetize it?
If I don't know. I don't know, because what we want to do, I've told stories my whole life through a lens, as have you. So the thought process is why let someone else make that story? Because someone's going to want to make that story. People have wanted to make that story. Why let someone else do it when I could just do it myself? And I know that if we do decide to monetize it, 100% of the proceeds will go to some sort of suicide prevention awareness.
Sounds really noble, and that's great. Anything that can get money in the hands of charities or suicide awareness, I'm going to obviously be all for it. But, again, I'm looking at that, and that all seems like an afterthought, and I just feel like that is a little bit disingenuous. I just don't. I don't feel that is... I feel like this is milking this mistake and this tragedy and in favor of trying to somehow leverage it. PewDiePie has never done anything like this. Whenever he's had a controversy, whenever he's had a scandal, he's never tried to manufacture a redemption arc for himself. He's just moved on and tried to do better, and that's it. So and I feel that what Felix does, what PewDiePie does, because he does it that way, and he just says his piece, and if he needs to make an apology, he makes one. I think that people can see him as being much more genuine and more thoughtful, even when he makes his mistakes. And I don't feel like that's what Logan's doing here, and I feel that it comes off as somewhat manufactured, manipulative, insincere, and that's just what I'm reading here. But again, you can make up your own opinion.
Program, because that's essentially what this whole thing is about.
Are you a different person now than you were?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay,
absolutely.
so then let me follow that up by, because I've heard you say that.
Yep.
He says it, but
How have
is
you
he?
demonstrated that? How have you not just said, but what have you done to demonstrate that?
And this is the key
I'd go
point,
even
and this is why
sharper in saying
Casey
that,
shouldn't
like,
be getting crap.
a lot of your content, I think the suicide video that you came out with, your first video back,
Yep.
really demonstrated what your channel's capable of in talking about something bigger than just Logan Paul.
Mm-hmm.
But there hasn't been much since then. There hasn't been much that's demonstrated you're a different person. You talked about positivity and being a different person and changing the structure of the channel.
Casey makes a fair point. You say you're different. Actions speak louder than words. He hasn't proven himself to be different. What he's been doing since then, whenever he's done anything and whenever he's done content, has not been anything that shows him to have changed and reflected and learned from his mistakes. Nothing. So, I mean, I think Casey is making a very fair criticism. I don't know why people think Casey went easy on him.
And then it was days later you're shooting a dead mouse. So
Yeah.
what have you done to demonstrate you've changed as a person?
The rat was
Rat.
Yeah, the rat was, that was me becoming obsessed with the idea of being a villain. When the whole world hates you, I made the conscious decision, I'm gonna be the guy they think I am. And I essentially became the architect of my own destruction because I wanted to be who they thought. I thought I might as well adopt this, screw it. And
Wasn't that a direct contradiction to everything you had just put out about how you're changing and how you're a different person?
Ding, 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 ding. Because it wasn't sincere. It was a contradiction because it wasn't sincere. It's a contradiction because it wasn't the truth. Because you don't change like that overnight. Change is hard. I'm not perfect. I grew up a very angry teenager and a very angry young man in my 20s, and I used to curse the world. How did I change? It wasn't overnight. I didn't turn on a YouTube camera and start preaching positivity. I went through pain, depression, suffering, and made a decision to become a better person and to become a person that people could want to and should want to be around, to not lash out, to not act out from pain, and to forgive myself for the things that I didn't like or didn't love about myself, and to become somebody that I felt was worthy of self-love, let alone being loved by other people, and to treat people in my life better. That's not something you can do overnight. That's not something you can do because you have a bad experience. That's not something that you can manufacture. That's not something that you can clean up with a PSA a week or two after you have a bad day. It's not how it works. That's just not how it works. And Casey was right to call him out on that. And so it is a direct contradiction. And he just said that he wasn't painting himself as the victim. What did he just do? He painted himself as a victim. But I don't know why there's all the dislikes and why people hate this interview. I think people are disliking because they dislike Logan Paul, but I don't think that's fair because Casey did a good interview and that's not reflected in the like to dislike ratio. We'll get to that in a minute and then I'll talk about Casey, but like I feel that that's unfair. I feel Casey did ask him good questions. I feel like Casey did paint a very good picture of why Logan Paul is polarizing and why he's problematic and why it seems he's not grasping the reality of the situation here, or even the reality and self-awareness of who he actually is and how he portrays and conducts himself. There's been no act of contrition, there's been no change, and then he says that his first instinct when people criticized him was, fine, you think I'm a villain? I'll be the villain, I guess. I will embrace this. I will be the person you think I am. That is not people's first instinct. People's first instinct is to try to figure out where they went wrong and what the right thing is, and to, in many cases, make amends or to not repeat their mistakes. But he just went full tilt with that because he's not driven by the desire. I can't accept, if he's at face value, that he's driven by the desire to do better, because he hasn't demonstrated that that's what his motivating and driving force is. He says it, but there's no evidence of it. There's no evidence of the desire to truly atone or to change or to grow up. There's no evidence of that. What there's evidence of is that you don't want to be irrelevant. You don't want to be a washed up YouTuber. He said it in the beginning of the video. Is there a redemption for Logan Paul, or am I just going to be another failed YouTuber? That is the driving, motivating force behind everything Logan Paul does and says in this interview and the way he conducts himself in his brand. And you're going to find that out in just a second.
Yeah. His videos were inside of a week.
Yeah, I know, but to me, while I can still be a good person, I'm also still possibly am the guy who takes things to extremes. That's who I am. That's the brand of Logan Paul. It's the fastest, the biggest, the best, the greatest.
The ego. You see, that's the truth. He just said the most truthful thing, or revealed the most truthful thing he's ever revealed in this entire interview. That statement and that identity is what drives him. That identity is what makes him do the things that he does. And it's rewarded by social media and by the system of YouTube. And that's the only reason we're talking about it so in depth in this live stream, is because I want to use this as a teaching moment. I want to use this as a reflection of the danger of social media and the false power that comes from view validation. You guys heard me in my VidCon speech talk about view validation, creating depression, anxiety, people hating the content that they make, burning out, but it also creates Jake and Logan Paul, and it creates a situation where they don't know the difference between right and wrong, because every action is validated by a view count. When every action you take is validated by a view count, how can you have a conscience when everything you do is rewarded, good or bad, with acceptance and love and money and power? How could you even know what right and wrong is? So I think that is important. Now, to the point with Casey, and we're going to move away from this video itself, and we're going to have a little bit of a discussion, and then we're going to move on into another topic. But I think it's unfair for Casey to take so much crap for this interview, and for YouTube to take crap for this video being number 2 on trending compared to other videos, because it's an important conversation about the YouTube community. And again, I think this does need to get as many views as possible. I support the sharing of this video because I feel that this is Logan Paul putting himself on the witness stand. Casey doesn't have to lean into him too hard as a prosecutor, because Logan has revealed anything about himself you need to know if you have the eyes to see it and the ears to hear it. And, like, social media just reveals who we are. Social media just reveals who we are. It's an amplification of what we actually are. That's all it is. Gary Vee talks about that. I believe that. I've experienced it. You know, social media is just an amplification of who we are. When you get to a point to where you consider that this might not be good or this might not be moral, but you do it anyway because you could get views out of it, then you're driven by exactly the wrong things. And again, I criticize that, but I also can see how easily it would happen. There are many of you watching this stream that would go to extremes and do a lot of things if it meant you could go viral or you could make a living as a YouTuber. You know, there is some desire for that. There is a desperation for those things. I mean, there's a lot of people that I think and genuinely believe will do almost anything for a silver or gold play button. I'm not even kidding. Whoops. So, like, it means way too much to people. It's why I don't believe we have a YouTube competitor. We don't have a YouTube competitor because no platform offers the amount of attention that YouTube offers. There's no platform that offers the social status in the reward tiers. There's no platform that offers trophies, and there's no platform currently that offers the type of money directly, passively for creators in this way. Now, there are platforms that are moving into that direction. I'm going to do a dedicated video at some point this week on how to build an actual YouTube competitor, because I think it's an interesting conversation and I've studied this. But the power that is offered, or the false power that is offered by having audiences and influences. I mean, a lot of you have said, well, without the viewers, without the subscribers, then a creator is nothing. That's not entirely true. It's only true if all you are is a YouTuber or a Snapchatter or a Viner or an Instagrammer or a streamer. If that's your entire identity, and it's the only time you've ever had power in your life to act with independence and agency, then that is true that you derive all of your power from the platform and from the audience and the access that that gives you. If you started young, or if that is where you invested all of your time and energy and all of your identity, then that's true. It's also true if you work a 9-to-5 job, you become your career. You become that supervisor, you become that foreman, you become that county clerk, you become that pediatrician, and that's who you are. And if you were ever fired, you would not only be stripped of your income, you'd be stripped of your very identity. And that is the power that we give to these things, but that's not actual power. You see, it's not personal power, if you will. Tony Robbins, one of the most brilliant human beings that you'll ever come across, defines personal power as such. Personal power is the ability to act, the ability to act. If YouTube went away tomorrow, I'm still a public speaker and still have proof of my record as a public speaker. If YouTube went away tomorrow, I'm just using myself as an example because it's easy. I'll use Gary Vee as an example right after this just to make the point and just to not let this seem like I'm bragging or reading my resume. But at the end of the day, I still have a lucrative, successful business that's outside of YouTube as a consultant and a marketer, and it goes beyond my understanding of YouTube. It goes to my understanding of video production and camera equipment and gear and technique and building even in other platforms, and also designing revenue streams passively, email marketing, search engine optimization. There are a ton of skills that I deploy as a YouTuber that have nothing to do with the platform itself, that are marketable and lucrative enough to be a 6-figure skill set. So YouTube dies tomorrow, I survive. That's not true of everyone. and I survive with the same relative lifestyle and the same relative level of income that I currently enjoy. That's not true of everyone. I don't use that as a brag, and it's not just me. Gary Vee, Evan Carmichael, Pat Flynn, Sonny Lenarduzzi, Amy Landino. There are so many people on YouTube. There are fitness YouTubers that have real businesses that they built, and YouTube as a tool to elevate their brand. So there's some of us that YouTube dies, we're okay. Twitch dies, we're okay. Instagram dies, we're okay. That's not necessarily true for certain people in certain genres of the platform, which means that they derive a false sense of power and security from that, which is why the adpocalypse literally devastated people and ruined them, is for that reason. Everything they had was derived from their power of access to the advertisers and access to having an audience in the form of subscriber base. So again, all of their power came from that. That's why I don't accept the phrase that, well, you're nothing without viewers or you're nothing without subscribers, because I disagree. If you have an actual skill that you can deploy, then that's not true. Meaning that if you're a photographer, you can still make money if YouTube dies. If you're a videographer, you can make money if YouTube dies. So you have to be something more than a YouTuber. Don't build your house on shifting sand, as All Perspectives is saying here in the chat. Absolutely. You have to be more than a YouTuber, and it's my hope that my channel helps more people figure that out. I'm also branching out and teaching on other platforms now and teaching about other platforms. I'm going to teach you guys what I do know about Instagram. I'm not as big on Instagram as I am on YouTube, but I only started telling people what I was doing with YouTube at 20,000 subscribers. I can do that at 10. Well, I use the word power. Someone's bringing this up. I use the word power, and I use this in the phrase false power in this case, because power is the ability to act. Influence allows you to act. So being an influencer is a form of power. Just like being smart is a form of power. Being wealthy is a form of power. Being physically capable is a form of power. So I'm using power, I think, appropriately in this context, right? So when I talk about it, I'm getting at the point that as a content creator, you end up, if you go all in on YouTube or another platform, Twitch, Instagram, whatever, you're giving almost all of your power and agency to the platform and your audience and the advertisers, the triad of fear. You're giving everything to a platform's algorithm, a platform's audience, and a platform's advertisers. Where's the power that's left for you? It's very minimal, and it's predicated on that. Now, if you take all of that away, at what can you do? What are you personally capable of? If you take away all of the things, I mean, is the difference between, there are some people that if you tell them to start over, they're terrified. You know? So if you can start over, you have power. If you can't start over and build yourself back up from zero, you don't have power. You know, think about the billionaires and millionaires in the world that are on the tip of your tongue. Think about which ones could go back and start over. Their name is crap, their reputation is crap. Can any of them build something if you gave them a laptop and $5,000? Can they get back on top? Can they build something? Can they make something? There are only a few people that I think are like that. I think that Mark Zuckerberg, for all the criticism and controversy that he gets, that if you stripped away all of his wealth and all of his reputation, within 2 to 3 years, he could build a completely new software and be a millionaire or billionaire again, or on his way to it. I genuinely believe that. I think if you strip Jeff Bezos of all of his wealth, that he can build another company from the ground up, from zero, without wealth and without his reputation being intact. I think that he could build something again. So that's part of why I respect tech entrepreneurs. Elon Musk, I believe that if you strip Elon Musk of all of his wealth and all of his reputation, that he can build it back again. I'm not necessarily sure that's true of some entrepreneurs. You guys can fill in the blanks on the people that you don't think could build from zero again and make something of themselves. I think that Evan Spiegel of Snapchat, if you strip them of all of his wealth, he could build something all over again and sell it. So there are a lot of people that I think are perfectly capable of doing that, and some people aren't. And I don't think the majority of YouTubers realize that there's a real possibility that they could have to start over again and build from zero again, which is why I'm not afraid to go to different platforms, go to things somewhat outside of my wheelhouse and build other revenue streams, build attention, and do those things, because I want to learn and I want to challenge and test myself, and I want to develop the skill to be able to build something from zero. It's why sometimes I don't even promote things that I have going on YouTube to my biggest audience. I go to smaller audiences that have like the 20,000 followers in Twitter, or the 10,000 in Instagram, or the 5,000 plus in LinkedIn, because it's to me the proof that with a small enough audience and starting over, or having a minimal amount of reach and exposure of what I'm capable of doing or building. I go to my 12,000 people email list, right? I don't always promote the biggest things in, say, YouTube. And it's because I don't want YouTube to ever become a crutch for me. It would be expedient, but I never want it to become a crutch. I mean, do you get what I'm saying? But anyway, I've rambled enough. Let's get to some super chats. Alpha J Show, $4.99 through. Appreciate these streams, Roberto. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate you. Peter, $2. Thanks for being you, Roberto. Thank you. Team Taga with two $5 super chats. Hey, Rob, I know of Logan Paul, but what did he do wrong? All I know from him is his upcoming fight and that he's popular. And wow, I really hope KSI beats him up. Dark Side Geek. Nice team, Tago. I explained earlier in the stream about the Suicide Forest video, and you can literally look up Logan Paul, controversy, or Logan Paul Suicide Forest, and you'll get the details. Dignity, $2 super chat. Thank you, appreciate that. Rob, do you think adding a Skype or blog talk to your live streams would be cool? I would love to call in. I'm hesitant or reluctant to let people call in unless I know them personally, and I have reasons for that. But it's not the worst idea in the world, so thank you for asking. So yeah. So I'm looking here at you guys' live chats. Yep. So I mean, but what do you guys think? I would love to know what you guys think. Do you think that my estimation of the sincerity of like Logan Paul and the fact that he's trying to manufacture a redemption arc for himself? I mean, what are your thoughts on this? Is he going about this the wrong way, or is he completely insincere? Do you believe it or do you disbelieve it? Like, what are your thoughts? What are you guys thinking? Just let me know in the live chat, and let me know in the comments if you feel any way about this one way or the other. And how do you feel about the way that Casey conducted his interview, if you've watched it, or if you just saw the snippets that I play? Like, how do you feel about the way that Casey conducted that interview? I'd actually really love to know about that. All right. And while you guys are discussing that in the chat, I want to take this opportunity to thank our sponsor. So for those of you who don't know, I use TubeBuddy, and I'm happy to have them be a sponsor of the YouTube Live Q&A stream, as well as the Create Something Awesome Today podcast. For those of you who don't know, TubeBuddy is the #1 tool for growing a YouTube channel. You have productivity tools, bulk processing, templates, SEO, and data research, things that can tell you what the best day to upload for your YouTube channel is based entirely on your own data. You also have really great features like A/B split testing for your thumbnails, which is fantastic because you get a better understanding of like who your audience is and what they'll click on. You also have one of my favorite tools, the scheduling tool that I use to upload my videos. Usually 12 p.m. now Eastern Standard Time is what I'm going for. So I really do enjoy TubeBuddy. I think it is the number one tool for content creators. So go to tubebuddy.com/awesome. Use the discount code Roberto's Buddy, and you'll get access to all of these cool features. And guess what? It also now works in the new YouTube Analytics Beta dashboard, which is amazing. And I believe it is the only tool, the only plugin that works with this new version of the YouTube Creator Studio that's still in beta. And we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about my analytics a little bit later, because I want to talk to you guys about some of the new YouTube features, the new YouTube algorithm, all that good stuff. So again, make sure you're checking out tubebuddy.com/awesome and use the discount code Roberto's Buddy. Thank you again to TubeBuddy for sponsoring this live stream. All right, so let's see what you guys are talking about here in the chat. Elevation Allah says, Roberto, I wish you interviewed Logan Paul. You would destroy him. I think Logan Paul is. Oh, I don't agree with those statements, and I don't necessarily think that Logan Paul is like the worst person in the world. I think Logan Paul is what you could easily write off as a stupid kid who got rich too quick, and just like many child actors. So I don't harbor any personal ill will against him. I can make an argument as to whether, like, my opinion of whether he's deserving of his fame and wealth and status is irrelevant. The fact is that he has it, and that's not for me to decide. That's for the market to decide, right? That being said, people do have the ability to be redeemed and learn from their mistakes, but they have to be genuinely committed to actually doing that, and that requires acts of contrition and atonement, and it requires some self-awareness. So, I mean, if I interviewed Logan, I think I'd be very frank and very direct and stern. I wouldn't pull punches, but I'd also have to balance that with not being antagonistic, and I would have to acknowledge the good that he's done, because that it would be intellectually dishonest if I didn't. It'd be intellectually dishonest if I didn't acknowledge his accomplishments, the good that he's done, his work ethic, his hustle, and those are things I've acknowledged in the past. I don't harbor animosity toward him, even with him blocking me on Twitter and being soft. I don't, because I wrote something about him, and I'm not big enough. I'm what he would deem to be irrelevant. But that doesn't mean I harbor ill will toward him. It just means that my respect for him was greatly diminished, not only by what he did in Japan, but everything that has followed that since. And the thing is, I did used to have respect for him, and I did used to give him a tremendous amount of credit. I've done that in speeches, and I'm not taking those speeches down, and I'm not editing them, because it was true at the time. It was true at the time, so it's about context, and I think that there are some things that don't age well. And that's fine. In fact, I have an article that I wrote when he first had this controversy, and that's linked down in the description below. It's a medium.com article that I wrote. It got a lot of buzz for what Medium is and for what my relative size in that platform is. And I wanted to do that, and I wanted to articulate my thoughts in the written word and put them on the record rather than just make a video, because every other YouTuber made a video about how they felt, and I didn't feel like I wanted to abuse that situation. I wanted to present my thoughts on this in a very, I would want to say, clinical way, a very measured way, if you will. So that's why I did it. So yeah. And I do believe that his audience enables him, and I think that it's easy to get caught up in that. I think that a lot of people can easily be swayed when you don't have the right people around you. I've been fortunate most of my life to have good people around me that check my ego and that help me be self-aware and make me understand when I'm not doing the right thing. I do my best to always consider two really important things. Am I acting in good faith, and am I giving someone the benefit of the doubt? And I'm really bad at the second one sometimes. I'm really bad at not assuming the worst about people sometimes. my cynicism and skepticism, despite being an optimist about broader, more general things, I'm much more cynical when it comes to actual people. Like, in broad terms, I can be optimistic, say, about platforms like YouTube, but be cynical about how I feel YouTube leadership is going and their vision and how they understand and relate to creators, right? So I can actually defend the platform and the ideal of the platform, the abstracts of that, the way that certain things function algorithmically. I can defend those things and be optimistic about them because they're constructs and they're ideas. But when it comes to people who are behind some of those constructs and ideas, I tend to be somewhat more cynical or skeptical of people's motives, and I struggle with that, and I would like to give more people the benefit of the doubt without being naive, because I feel when I was young, I was much more lenient, and sometimes too lenient and too generous in assuming that people were trying to do the right thing. So, but like I said, I don't want to be negative in that way, and it's something I struggle with. It's something I don't like about myself, is the fact that I don't always give people the benefit of the doubt. It's something that doesn't come as naturally to me. It's not a natural instinct of mine to assume that people are doing the right thing or that people are good. I look for what the angle is and what they think they're going to get out of something, because I feel like that is a reasonable thing to do if people are not going to be upfront and tell you what they want. Now, what I try to do is I try to be upfront and tell people exactly what I want out of whatever. I tell people exactly what my agenda is, but I subscribe to borderline radical honesty, which is not always a good thing. It alienates people, it offends people, it hurts interpersonal relationships, it makes people not feel as special, and it's at the expense of not always holding back with your thoughts or the first thing that comes to your mind. And I don't think it's for everybody, and I don't really advocate for more people to be radically honest. I actually think it's quite dangerous to do that. It's just a side effect of my own experiences in life, why I'm that way. So all of that being said, I just think that it's interesting that social media and platforms can elevate people to a place that could be very potentially harmful to them and for the people around them. I think when you make a lot of money and you have people around you who don't feel like they can correct you because they feel inferior to you, even if they're your friends or family, I think that sometimes people don't think they can tell you anything, because who are they? Because you have all this success comparative to them, they don't feel like they can check you on anything. And I think that that creates a problem. I think that when people don't feel they can be honest with you, you're going to make more mistakes because you don't have people who are being very real with you. And I think that when you have a fan base that looks up to you, I think it's easy to look to them as the measuring stick of your approval, because clearly these people would tell you where the line is. But that's not true, because they, as much as they say they're invested in you and they care about you, they care about their own entertainment. They care about you as an avatar for their escapism, or as someone who facilitates what they want. And that's not to say that viewers don't care about creators. That's not to say that you guys don't care about me, or that nobody cares about creators. I would just make the argument that it's more likely that someone cares about what they want more than they care about what's best for you. I think that's a fair argument to make. It's obviously not going to be universally true, but I think that if you make that assumption, you'll be more right than wrong. I think if you make the assumption that people care about what's good for them and what gets them what they want, and that you will be an afterthought, and if something they want comes at your expense, they might be okay with that. I think making that assumption, as cynical as it sounds, is a healthy assumption to make, even if it's not, I would say, mentally healthy. I think that you stand a lesser chance of being disappointed or betrayed if you go into things with that thought of, what do they want? I mean, I think Tyrion Lannister in Game of Thrones is probably one of the better examples of that. He just asks people what they want because he understands that what he wants isn't relevant to them unless it gets them what they want. So My World in Shadows, $4.99 super chat. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. I sent you an email. Can you check it? I'll look for it. I just may not have gotten it, or my assistant may not have got it. So let's see. Refining Reason says, I'm not as critical of Logan Paul as much as YouTube's reaction to it compared to other smaller creators. I think there's a double standard when it comes to Logan Paul. I think leadership in YouTube does actually pick favorites, and it shows more leniency, and they make their rationalizations. They have their reasons. They're not bad people, but they'll have their reasons. They'll come up with their, what we might see as excuses, quote unquote. And that's just what it is. And it's why I'm cynical when it comes to leadership. I don't think that they are doing anything with malicious intent, but I do feel that it's valid to have some level of skepticism or cynicism or distrust with regard to YouTube's leadership, because even when they state their agenda, they don't present it well, and even when they give you their reasoning, it doesn't always add up, and that's very problematic. I think it's troubling. I think they try to be transparent. I've seen strides toward that. I appreciate it. I respect it. I know it's hard when you run a business to put everything out there, and I especially understand how hard it is to run a business with such a diverse community. I can't imagine the scale of what it is to run something like YouTube, so I don't make the assumption that I could just do a better job. I think there are specific areas in which I could offer a different point of view or guidance or anticipate a different outcome, but that's not the same thing as genuinely being able to do a better job of everything. I think it's very easy to say that. I think it's hard to deliver on it. So I just want to be fair to them. I think that Susan Wojcicki and Robert Kinsel have a lot on their plate, but I also think that their lack of experience of being a content creator for real is a problem. I think that if you're Susan Wojcicki or Robert Kinsel, that you have to take the 30-day YouTube challenge. You have to, for 30 days, in addition to running the company and doing your day job, just like a real YouTuber, you have to put out content every single day in this ruthless algorithm. They're not allowed to turn off comments. They can delete them like anybody else, but they still have to read them just like anyone else. And they have to do it for 30 days in a row without breaking the chain, or that month they should forfeit their salary to the charity of their choice. So that's the 30-day YouTube challenge, but they'll never do it. But if they did, they would have a completely different view of content creators and what it means if their salary was on the line to make content every day for a month and not stop, and to have to read the comments on that content, then I think that they would have a better understanding of what it means to be a YouTuber, and I think they could develop a better product, and I think they could lead the company better if they had to balance their day job with being a content creator for 30 days. I think it would create empathy, and so I think that's what YouTube can and should do differently. That's what I would like to see from leadership. That's what I respect, leaders who lead from the front. I respect people who lead from the front. So yeah. So, that's my thought. That's what, I feel makes the most sense with that. Now, let's talk about some new YouTube features. And let's go to my screen for that. So, some of you know, and some of you I know are genuinely upset about YouTube and its monetization rules, but YouTube is trying to do more for creators, and some of it has come in the form of, if you have at least 10,000 subscribers, you can do merchandise, and you can go and you can do like Teespring stuff. And so I haven't made Teespring merch just yet. I have merchandise if you go to robertoblake.com/shirts, I have merchandise. /shirts, which I do through Spreadshirt. But I'm going to actually recreate a lot of this same stuff over on Teespring and some new stuff, because that will natively integrate directly into YouTube. So the way that that works is you can design stuff here in Teespring through this integration if you have 10,000 subscribers or more, and you'll be able to actually have that stuff show up directly under your videos, so people can directly go to that, and you'll get everything. And they give you all the tools to, you know, see how much money you made. They handle everything. They handle shipping. You don't gotta do anything. So I think it's really cool that they offer that. Now, you know, obviously, if you have 1,000 subscribers, you get super chat monetization. If you have 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours of watch time, and you get approved for the partner program, then you know, you get to do that. So those are things that YouTube is offering creators, and I think that that's actually pretty dope. And I would like to see more of that. Now, you guys might be seeing that they have an option on my channel for you to become what they're calling a member. So they were calling it being a sponsor, but that was confusing, so they changed it. But you know, you can become a member, and then for $4.99 a month, you'll get exclusive content. For me, that's gonna be that I'm gonna hook up the community of people who become members for $4.99 a month with discount codes on my products over at Awesome Creator Academy, and I'm going to also do like a monthly special live stream, and also I'll be hooking you guys up with little things that I'm making, like desktop wallpapers that I play around with making in Photoshop that I think are motivating and inspiring and just cool stuff. So you know, there's that. And YouTube also has this feature. We're gonna read an article from Engadget real quick. They have premieres. So before you release a pre-recorded, a regular YouTube video, you could go live with your audience, kind of like how we're doing it now, and do a premiere and build up hype for that. And then people can do super chats, and people can also do a channel membership. For right now, premieres are only open to users with at least 100,000 subscribers. I have to see if I have it and I have the ability to do that, because I have to talk to my channel manager. But they're going to roll this out to more people is what I'm hearing, and I think it's going to come down to 10,000 subscribers, if not less, eventually. But right now they're doing a rollout to channels with 100,000 subscribers. So before a video goes live, you can do before a recorded video goes live, you can do a premiere. People can do super chat. You can hype people up for it. And what this will help with is a thing in the algorithm called view velocity, meaning in the first hour and the first day, you can get as much traffic on that video as possible. And then that will help you in the YouTube algorithm. And I'll show you some stuff with analytics, because it's actually pretty cool. So I'm in the new YouTube Analytics dashboard, and they've done some updates here. I want to talk about this because this is really cool. So this is a video that I experimented with, and I've been experimenting with different thumbnail styles, as you guys have probably caught on to see what will perform better or better than usual. And this video, by doing this thumbnail and this topic, did a lot better in the first day than it normally would and YouTube is comparing that and giving me those estimates. But also in the first day of that video being uploaded, I had this really sweet click-through rate, and I think that in general YouTube is going to help recommend that video more because of it, because you'll see that here in the browse features is where I got a lot of the traffic for doing this particular video. I think everyone is underestimating how important this is, and I'm going to make a video about it, but it comes down to you have to pick the right topic, the right title, the right thumbnail, and then after all of that, after topic, title, and thumbnail, then after that, it comes down to tags and tools. So tags and tools. So that's where like TubeBuddy comes in. Again, thanks TubeBuddy for sponsoring the stream. you can use things like the Tag Explorer, and you can see what topics, because I mean, this will even help you with the title. So if I go with passive income and I explore this, I can see that this is a ridiculously competitive topic, but I have already ranked well for this topic, and so that's really practical. And again, in terms of top ranking videos in search, that becomes important. This gives me some ideas. It also, I can look at auto generated, and I can look at ideas for types of titles. How to make passive income. If I explore that, what's going on with that? And again, it's ridiculously competitive, but it's also highly searched. And so it tells me what channels I could relate to, what other channels, have it. So, I mean, that becomes important. If I go to ways to make passive income, and you can see how I got this video to be successful if you look at like how I'm doing the research here in TubeBuddy. And you can see that's not an accident that it got everything I got out of it. It's highly competitive, but I can rank for it, and I have ranked for it before, and there are all these other auto-suggested keywords and ways that I can do it. And I can see, all these things. So if I even go to results here, I can see what other videos rank for this topic, and there's my video that had 1.3 million views, so I already ranked for that, so I have some credibility. So making an updated video about this, even after doing that from 2 years ago, is smart, because it means that I could potentially rank for it. So if I go with, and if I want to view the results for how to make passive income, let's see what happens there. So if I go to the results, the other good thing about going to the results is I can compare the thumbnails. So if I look at these thumbnails, not all of them are great or well designed. Some of them are all right. I'm not hating on anybody, I'm just saying. So I'm like, okay, this is what people will click on, and these are the options, and this was what gets their attention. So it's like, okay, cool. So I know, and I also know what my own video was successful, so I also know what things I can do, and I also that my name is kind of associated with that kind of thing. So I can rank for these things. So again, if you do some research with a tool like this, then when you actually rank for something and when you're associated with videos, it doesn't become an accident. It doesn't become an accident. As you can see. And if I look at the other thumbnails, even my own other thumbnail, there's this one does stand out, and it does get attention, and it is brighter colors, and so that could all work out for me in mobile. So, and then these are other titles, and these are videos that could recommend my videos. So that's actually really powerful. And then these are other channels that I might be able to collaborate with, and that I should think about and that I should research. So when you look at those things, and then you look at the click-through rate, you look at the views, you look at the unique viewers, and you realize, oh, people might rewatch this video and things of that nature. When I look at the retention rate on the video, and that it did really well for as long as the video is. I mean, I got people watching. I got about 25% of the audience to watch almost 18 minutes into the video. That's pretty significant. To get 25% of the overall audience to 18 minutes in, that's challenging. So this was, and to get an average 8 minutes of watch time, that's a successful video, to average that. So I look at those things, and that's how I use TubeBuddy, and that's how I think about these things. And I feel like if you use the resources that YouTube has available to you, you can become more successful. I recently did a video. This video was from yesterday on things that you should do before you start a YouTube channel. All the data hasn't come back on this video yet, but the thing that I like about this video already is that 8-minute average view duration and that 45% average view duration is nice. that is really strong. And the fact that it's getting suggested videos already and Browse is promoting it, I think this video long term will do very well for me, but I'm satisfied with how it's performing. All the data hasn't come in on it yet because the video is not that old. It's only a day old. It's just barely reached 24 hours in its life cycle. So I can look at those things. There are videos that will perform, and as you can tell, it's down to topic and title and then thumbnail, and then after that it's all the little details in terms of your tools that you use and your tags. So if I was going to give you any advice, I would say topic, title, thumbnail, tools, and tags. That's what it's going to come down to. So let's see what else is going on here. Actually, we can close that out. I may or may not cover that. I think I've talked enough about Logan and his whole train wreck. Let's see. There was another topic that I had on deck to cover. We covered the new YouTube features in the form of premieres and also sponsorships and merchandise. We also talked about the Casey interview, and you guys weighed in on that. What else were we covering today? I think that was the main stuff that I wanted to be sure to cover today, to be honest. And so I guess we can go into any YouTube reviews. Someone's saying my views dropped. Where are you seeing that? According to the dashboard analytics, my views are up. My views are up. Watch time's up, views are up, subscribers are up. Everything's up. Up, up, and away. Yep. Yeah, no, everything's good. Everything's green. And we reached almost 250,000 unique viewers in the last 28 days. So almost for everyone who wants to say my audience is inactive, I reached 250,000 humans this month. So I'm not seeing it. View to subscriber ratios are completely irrelevant. I mean, you can judge that all you want, but it doesn't tell you anything that's legitimate. It doesn't tell you, an AdSense revenue is meaningless because it's not the end all be all, and it's not the only revenue stream there is by any stretch of the imagination. This is really good data to have. Oh, I'm growing more with a female audience. That's great. That's fantastic. Balancing that out is actually a very important thing for watch time and for viewer retention rates. On average, women have a 15 to 25% higher average view duration in almost all categories. No one realizes that. Demographics-wise, I'm doing good. I'm not courting a young audience. I'm courting an audience that's more in the age range that I make content for and that I want. So I'm hitting my target viewer. I'm hitting my target viewer avatar. I'm getting much more focused and much more specific about who I want to reach and what I want to provide to them in value. So I'm tightening up my content strategy a little bit beyond just doing things that, I do things that I'm interested in that are interesting to me, like today's live stream, but I'm thinking a lot more about how I can give the most value to people and get it much more concentrated around building and marketing your brand and building a business, and also acquiring the skills so that you're not beholden to a platform or to an employer for your identity and for your income. Because that's what really matters to me a lot. That's kind of the conversation that I'm looking to have with people, is that the reason that I do a lot of these different things outside of YouTube is that it gives me independence. It gives me massive independence from this platform, because it's great to have 300,000 subscribers, but YouTube could just decide to kill my channel. It really could. It wouldn't even have to delete my channel. It could do what it did to my friend Swoop. She had 600,000 subscribers, and YouTube killed her old channel, and she had to rebuild to 100,000 subscribers in the last like 2 months from nothing, and practically start over after she built something for 7 or 8 years. She built a 600,000 audience over the course of like 7 years, and YouTube screwed her channel, and she fought it for a year, and then she started over a new channel, something they didn't even recommend she do, told her not to do. And it's like what saved her brand and like gave her a voice and like kept her become a creator again. And you know, she's doing a bang up job. It's some of the best content out there. But yeah, so YouTube could kill your channel, or you could have a scandal like Logan, and you could you know, ruin your reputation. So I think that understanding that and not giving all of your power to a platform is important. But even if you have a day job, you can be fired. So, you know, then there goes all of your power, all of your agency, all of your independence too. So I want people to have skills. I want people to have financial freedom, and I want them to be proud of what they're making, and I want them to be in control of their time, their energy, and their thoughts, you know. So I that's important to me. They didn't remove her channel. Her channel was the victim of an algorithmic anomaly. So that's why I use the slang that YouTube killed her channel. Like, it was a mistake. It was nothing she did wrong. And they said, yep, nothing we can do about it. And she was like, well, should I start a new channel? And they were like, well, if your analytics make you sad, sure, but no, but I guess if your analytics make you sad. That was literally the answer from a YouTube employee. And so she did that. Um, 300,000 subscribers is and a 5.2 average views. It's like, it doesn't mean what you think it means if you're trying to use that as a stat to undermine me. And I'm gonna show you something. So let's go to my my brother Evan Carmichael. So Evan Carmichael, 1.4 million subscribers, 5,000 videos, world-class public speaker, best-selling author, one of the great entrepreneurs of our time, Evan Carmichael. Passionate Believe Nation community, and Evan has 1.4 million subscribers. I'm going to show you the views. And so if you think you're going to like discredit me or say something about me and my view to subscriber ratio, I want to show you something. Evan makes some of the best content in the world. Evan can tell you how to build a real business, has built a 7-figure business, is a prolific entrepreneur with 1 million subscribers. With 1 million subscribers, 3K views, 1.2K views, 2.8 views, 4K views, 13K views, 11K views. So you have to understand when you guys are talking about YouTube that most of you have no idea what you're talking about, because you will find that everything will get harder after you get 10,000 subscribers, and that everything you thought you knew, you don't. After 100,000 subscribers, you'll really find that out. And if you ever get to 1 million subscribers, everyone will tell you what you should be doing and how successful they think you should be. So yeah, if you guys are judging by those numbers and you're not a content creator at that level, like you really don't know what you're talking about. You know, now if you're confused about it, it's really simple. I did a live stream that you can watch from, I think, about a week ago, where I reviewed my own YouTube channel. I audited it and I showed you guys my analytics, and I showed you that YouTube does not show your videos to your subscribers. If you take that right there at face value and say, oh, YouTube doesn't even show your videos to your subscribers, then guess what? It's instantly, then aside from status or trophies or access to features, YouTube subscriber counts are irrelevant. So when I say YouTube subscribers are irrelevant, I'm not saying don't care about your subs and don't in terms of the people and the audience that's supporting you. I'm saying that number is arbitrary. There's no algorithmic advantage. And YouTube, if you look at the actual data sources of traffic, does not give your if you look at traffic sources in the classic dashboard, nope, not that. Nope. Let's see. Classic Creator Studio. Skip. So if I go to Classic Creator Studio and I go to Analytics and I go to Traffic Sources, I'm going to show you something. So here are the traffic sources for this YouTube channel, and we're just going to do the last 28 days just because it makes it easier to load all this, because I've done the lifetime stuff. You can literally watch me do the lifetime audit of my channel. So suggested videos, 20% of my views come from that. YouTube search, 40% of my views are search. That has nothing to do with my subscribers. Nothing to do with my subscribers. Channel pages, nothing to do with my subscribers. That's 4%. External, so that's like social media. That has nothing to do with my subscribers, and that's 10%. So where's the 17% coming from? 17% comes from the following sources. YouTube promoting stuff to the homepage, and then subscriptions. And so this is what makes up of that small 17%. This is where the majority of it is, and this is how little of it came from my subscribers. This is how little of, so out of 400,000 views, look at how little of it would technically, in terms of these two top numbers, come from my subscribers. So it's a very simple thing of, why does your channel have such a low view to sub ratio? Because YouTube doesn't give my videos to my damn subscribers, that's why. So, I mean, look at this. Notifications, Notification Squad, 6,000 views from notifications. Look how weak that is. That's weak. I get more views from distributing my content in Twitter, probably. External, Google search, 25,000 views. Google does more for me than my notifications bell does. Unknown. YouTube just doesn't know what to do. All right, 600 is from Twitter. Okay, so that's not the worst. And then some websites where I guess some of my stuff has been featured on. Awesome. Cool. But as you can see for yourself, YouTube does not push my videos to my subscribers. Even if I gave them that everything in browse features is them pushing it to my subscribers, that is 17% of my entire channel traffic. And whether that's the last 28 days or the last 90 days, it doesn't matter. So out of 1.2 million views as a sample size, YouTube only gave that 14% of that to my subscribers between notifications and browse features. They didn't give my audience my videos. They didn't give my audience my videos. It's that simple. So anybody ever like wonder or confused about that or judging based on that, you have to understand, YouTube isn't giving people the videos that they subscribed for. If you don't watch a YouTube channel like X amount of days in a row, YouTube says, well, if you're not on notifications, we just won't give you those videos because we think you're disinterested in that. We don't think you're interested in that even though you subscribed to it. Aston Regis says, the flip side says, why does YouTube not push subscribers from notifications? What's the point of having subscribers? Every YouTuber is scratching their head asking that question right now. YouTube is not pushing your content to people who signed up for your content. Unless you watch that content on a regular basis, which means if you're subscribed to a few hundred channels, then guess what? You probably are hurting those channels a little bit because you're subscribed, and at the same time, you're not watching those videos on a regular basis. So yeah, So Frankie, I'm not razzing you, and I'm not offended. I'm frustrated because it just brings to mind. It just brings to mind one of the biggest problems with YouTube. YouTube, for both viewers and creators, is not delivering content that people signed up for, and it's a frustration to me. They used to put more priority on that, but the machine learning, the algorithm, is deciding what you want versus just giving you what you signed up for. And so that's a problem. It's a huge problem. So you don't get what you signed up for. So subscribers is, like Super Nardful just said, subscribers is a milestone metric for play buttons, bragging rights, acceptable, but there's no technical advantage. But because there once was, at some point, everyone assumes that that's still true, and it's absolutely not. But it means, and that's what's making YouTubers depressed. It's making viewers confused. It's creating a lot of stigma and controversy. People think that people are faking their numbers or botting or whatever it is, but the reality is just that YouTube is not what people think it is. That's all. That's all there is to it at the end of the day. It's a big misunderstanding. And part of it with me is, like, if you look at where my views are coming from, this is the proof in the pudding itself that I don't fake anything, is that I couldn't make YouTube do views from search. You can't buy views from search. You can't buy views from suggested. You couldn't buy views from the browse features. And that by itself represents a combination of about 77% of my overall traffic. The only thing you could do is external, but we went and we saw most of that comes from Google itself for me as far as Google search. So you can't fake that. You can't fake the cumulative average watch time from those locations. So, like, I've proven more or less where 88% of my traffic comes from. So, anybody who says that I'm faking views or traffic is just a hater. They're just a hater and a fraud if they're saying that. And then in terms of subscribers, I can show you this. And I did this in my whole reviewing my own YouTube channel thing. But if I show you the geography of my subscribers and where it comes from, this isn't my lifetime one. If I do that, I can just show you the whole enchilada. But I mean, I could do that. But if you look at where my subscribers came from in the last 90 days, the majority of it is the United States. The majority of it's the United States. There's a large English-speaking population in India, but I close caption almost every video. You guys know that. So I also get Canada and the Philippines and Australia and stuff because of that, because I close caption. And then also my tutorial videos, my screenshot tutorial videos, you wouldn't even need to speak English to follow those. So, I mean, I always prove what I'm doing. I mean, I don't have to, and nobody should have to. You guys definitely shouldn't have to. I do this because I understand that not everybody is a skeptic, or not everyone is out to bash a creator. Certainly not everyone is out to get me, but I think there's a large misunderstanding of how YouTube works on the back end, and I'm trying to help creators and viewers better grasp how YouTube really works. And if I have to reveal, like, information that most people aren't willing to, I'm okay with that, as long as it serves a purpose and as long as it's useful. I don't do it to brag. I don't do it to, to do anything untoward. I do it to make the point that when I talk about the issues of YouTube, I'm doing it from a place of having enough data. I can't show you the data of other channels I have access to. I just show you mine because that's ethical and that's the right thing. So, I just put it out there. And I understand why other creators don't want to do that, and that's fine, and they don't have to, and they shouldn't feel like they have to. But it also, I think, gives any of you who want to start this or are small creators, it gives you the reality. It gives you the reality because if you look at Jake and Logan Paul, that's not the reality of YouTube. Crafty Craft Creator says, yes, I appreciate your data discussions. Well, I super appreciate you appreciating my data discussions. So, I just wanted to show you guys that stuff because I think it makes sense. I think it helps. I think that YouTube is favoring new channels because they can get... I mean, there's so much opportunity for small YouTube creators. and it doesn't mean you have to get a shout out from a big creator for it to happen. I mean, there's a lot of room for people to bring something new to the table and to bring new voices to the table. Justin Wunderlich asks, so is there any way to combat that? I would tell all of you that if you want to beat the YouTube algorithm, here's what you have to do. First of all, you have to pick the right topic that has attention and that makes sense for what your niche is. Then I also feel you have to get your titles right, and that's storytelling, and that's also harnessing people's attention and interest, getting them to click. And that I wouldn't say you have to clickbait. I'm going to do a video about why good clickbait versus bad clickbait. And I might clickbait that video by putting Casey Neistat in it on one side and then like Jake Paul on the other. Because if I'm going to talk about good clickbait versus bad clickbait, then yeah, you know. But I think you have to make stuff that's worthy of getting a click, worthy of people's attention, and making it feel exciting to them, because you're asking them for time they don't have. So I think that matters, and that's an important distinction. I think the next thing after that would be you've got the right topic, you've got the right title, you need a thumbnail that draws people in, and then you have to get your tools and your tags right, and then I think you're fine. The other thing I would tell you is notification squad. At the beginning of every video, in the first minute of the video, tell them to turn on notifications. Turn on notifications. So topic, title, thumbnail, turn on notifications, then tools, then tags. Like, that's it. So that's what I think is real. Notifications, when you do stuff, they push that to people on your notifications, but then they also push it to people who are your most active subscribers. So that means that if they didn't watch the last couple of uploads, YouTube doesn't think they care about your video anymore. You know, so you got to make people care about videos, and part of that is staying in your topic, not just doing, you might have some weird one-off thing that interests you, but if your audience signed up for one thing and you don't deliver on that, they're going to skip a video. And if they skip a video, then YouTube's going to say, oh, I guess you're not relevant to that viewer anymore, so I'm not going to promote your content when you upload to that viewer anymore, unless, you know, they go and they look at your stuff again. So that's the problem with being a YouTube creator. Matt, I don't think you understand what the sponsor button is. Matt's saying, I'll never turn off ad block because of the sponsor button. Matt, what do you think the sponsor button is? Because I don't think you understand what the sponsor button is, because YouTube is changing that to a members button. I don't think you understand what the sponsor button is. Have you ever clicked on the sponsor button to know what it is, Matt? Matt, tell us what you think the sponsor button means and what you think it is for you to justify ad block. Because I want to know. Because people are talking about that, and people are talking smack about the sponsor button and how they're going to keep ad block on. I don't even think they read up on what the sponsor button even is. I don't think they even know. So Matt, why don't you enlighten all of us on what you think the sponsor button is and what it means, and why you think that justifies you turning on ad block? Because I really want to know. Because if it's that you don't understand the sponsor button, I can then explain it to everybody, because you're probably confused, because YouTube doesn't explain things well. So Matt, I'm being dead serious. In the chat, Matt in the chat, what do you think the sponsor button is? Tell me, because then I'm going to correct your assumption. Because if you're getting it wrong, then there might be a million people like you that are getting it wrong and are hurting creators by having ad block on because you don't understand something. Because you made an assumption. And again, it's not entirely your fault. YouTube is horrible at naming and branding things and assuming. So let's see. In the meantime, what do we got here? Help with alcohol addiction says, my analytics suggest that videos 41% browse features, 21% YouTube search, 12% channel pages, and 6% is etc. So yeah, most of your views are coming from suggested videos, and that's YouTube's algorithm deciding on a number of things. That's YouTube's algorithm deciding on a number of things that are outside of your control. So that's the other thing, is that I think that when I showed you guys the analytics, it proves my point that the quality of your content has nothing to do with where your views come from. The quality of your content has nothing to do with where your views come from. And you guys saw that with data yourself. The analytics prove that point. It doesn't matter. Yeah. But again, I think that Matt thinks when he sees the sponsor button, I think Matt and people like Matt think that that sponsor button means that this video is sponsored, which, by the way, that's also a stupid reason to turn on ad blocker and to refuse to turn it off. That is like the most ridiculous thing I think I've ever heard. But when it comes to what that thing is, that sponsor button means that people can click it and become a sponsor of the video, which is paying monthly to support the channel. So it's like Patreon. It's just like Patreon. So Matt, if you're looking at thing and say, well, I'm not going to turn off ad block because this is a sponsored video, for first of all, kind of a little bit, Matt, screw you, because that's not a reason to have an ad blocker on. Like Matt, like, or anybody else, like, a video being sponsored isn't a reason to block ads. Like, and then two, they're changing it from sponsor because it's confusing people to members, because it's people who are members of the channel that pay for it to support the channel. So it's kind of like PBS, and it's like brought to you by viewers like you. So it's like PBS. So yeah, Justin is right. I thought the sponsor button at first meant, do you want to be a sponsor of this video, as in like a brand giving a creator a brand deal. Thanks for clarification. It's more of a this video is like, or have the opportunity to, like, this is from viewers like you. This, like, today's video is brought to you by viewers like you. Dribble Kenshin says, so they are kind of copying Patreon. Yeah, a little bit. And they've done something like this before. They had a feature called fan funding that they did a while. But I think they felt like they were stepping on Patreon's toes, and so they got rid of it. And then they did Super Chat instead, and now they're doing this. So it's like, it's this weird kind of thing. Luxury Card Store says, I'm a sponsor on Roberto's channel, but I don't use AdBlock because as a sponsor, I want him to reap the rewards of being a content creator. Thank you, Luxury Card Store. I appreciate that. Wish more people felt that way. Michoto says, Roberto, I really want to thank you for your help. I'm literally just editing my first video ever right now, and watching your videos really helped me. Thanks. That's awesome. It's dope. Glad it can help. Some people are saying they keep ad block on because of data mining and viruses. It's what's happening too many times on other YouTube and sites. I have security plugins. I recommend you guys use NordVPN. They're not a sponsor or an affiliate yet. I want to be an affiliate with NordVPN because I think they do a dope job, and I want to actually get them to sponsor this channel because I think that talking about having a VPN is important. Especially now, and especially with what some of the internet service providers are doing, I think that having a VPN is important. Yep, Nord or PIA is the best solution. Yeah, I like them. I like Tunnel Bear. I like those things. Instead of ad block, I think that most people should just get YouTube Red. I would agree with that, Justin. YouTube Red is really good for me as an experience, but I also like Brave as a browser. I think could be good for people. Let's see. Juice says, how's it going, Juice? Juice says, hey, Roberto, do you mind speaking about why YouTube allows certain channels to use the community tab? I was just approved sometime last week. I think it's literally just based on numbers, and they're trying to get it to people who have 10,000. And I think that giving people subscriber goals and setting those things can feel like a goalpost for a lot of you guys and can feel like discouraging, but it means it's something to work toward and aspire to. I mean, a lot of people debate me on this, but I don't think YouTube should have given ad revenue to all creators in 2012, 2013 from the start, because I think it took away the incentive to hustle to earn that, which old YouTubers didn't get that right away. A lot of people don't realize they had to apply for it. They had to hustle for it. PewDiePie had 25,000 subscribers, and they didn't get and he didn't get monetization even with 25,000 subscribers when he was starting out. So I really I feel like I don't think the post should be that high, but I also feel that making it available to everybody, I think 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time is reasonable. And I know a lot of people don't agree with that, but I think that it is. I think it was lenient. 10,000 probably would have been where I said it, but and a lot of people are gonna be like, well, screw you, or that's because you're a big YouTuber. It's like, no, guys, you have to remember that when I first started, I didn't monetize my videos early on, and when I did, I didn't monetize the first day of upload. I didn't usually monetize until after the first day of upload anyway, to grow the audience and to not interrupt the video. So that's why I did that. So when I wanted to grow, I didn't like turn ads on for the first day that people were watching a video when it was the most popular time for a video. Or sometimes I wouldn't turn on a video until it got a certain number of views. I wouldn't turn on monetization till then. So, Roberto, can you remind me how many subscribers you need for monetization? I have almost 9K video views, but I forget how many subs I need. I'm only on 129. Am I writing saying it's 2K subscribers? No, it's 1,000. It's 1,000 subscribers. And 4,000 hours of watch time. The reason I think 10K would have been a good idea is because it's harder to fake that. You can't sub your way to 10K subscribers. It's hard to buy it and not get caught. So YouTube would have less people to vet, which means that monetization approval would happen faster for every creator that gets it because it's a higher mark. And I think that it would also mean that everybody who was monetized would have better ad distribution and would probably make more money. So I think that that's good. Those are things that, when I think about it, are practical. Yes, 1K seems more reachable, but I think that's a bad thing because I think it's also a way to measure good intentions, because I think if people are easily discouraged, it might mean that they aren't meant to be a creator as aspiring to grow it or to make money off of it or to do it for a living. I think the filter would help people realize that maybe they should be a hobby creator, because, I mean, not everyone can be successful at YouTube just because everyone has a YouTube channel. Just because everyone has a YouTube channel doesn't mean everyone can be successful. And what do I mean by successful? Well, not everybody will get videos that get a ton of views if they measure success that way. Even not all of my videos get a ton of views, but that's not how I measure success. Not everybody's videos will make money. Mine do, even in spite of views. So that's one way to measure success. Not everybody's channel will get subscribers and build a large community, but it depends on how large you need your community to be and how much support do you need before you feel successful and feel validated. So, I mean, that's subjective too. And then, well, is this channel for freedom of expression or for you to get a voice out there or to get something off your chest? Is it for you to document your life or your journey? Is it for you to just be able to host content? Like, what's your reason for doing YouTube, and what's the reason for this content to exist beyond attention? So I think that YouTube is accessible and it should be accessible, but I don't think anyone's entitled to success on YouTube. I don't think anyone's entitled to an audience. I don't think people are entitled to ad revenue. I don't think anyone's entitled to anything. I think that we should all just be grateful that YouTube is something we have access to. And I think that's an important mindset shift to have. So, you know, but that's how I think of it, because I always viewed YouTube as a tool. People can be like, well, that's easy for you to say because you have an audience. It's like, that's how I thought about it in the very beginning too. I mean, if you look at how I did my channel, you can see that. Did the adpocalypse affect you at all, Roberto? Nope, except for I think I actually made more money. I think I made more money after the adpocalypse, to be honest with you, because my channel is deemed to be one of the most family-friendly channels on YouTube. Or if you don't want to say family-friendly, advertiser-friendly, because, children aren't watching my videos. It's adults. So one, my audience has more disposable income. I have an affluent audience based on demographics and metrics and the data that I have. Advertisers can see that data even better than I can. And so my property is a very good property for advertisers. So I actually got better CPM rates and more monetized views after the adpocalypse. So if anything, I benefited. I don't say that smugly. I say that as I positioned my channel in such a way, one, as to not rely on ad revenue at all to begin with. I made it to where I wasn't gonna rely on ad revenue, and then if you guys watch the passive income video, I mean, I'll give you guys a small, like, I don't want to. What do I want to show you? I'll show you guys something just real quick for context, because I don't want it to be like a thing. When I say like YouTube AdSense doesn't matter to me, I'll give you a peek at something for a little bit of context, and then I'll move on from it, because I really don't want it to be, I don't want people to take it the wrong way. But so this is the dashboard for Awesome Creator Academy, and this is like a 6-month overview of sales revenue. So building a business outside of YouTube, building awesomecreatoracademy.com, which is my online business. In addition to other things I do, like being a public speaker, being a consultant privately for brands, having a membership group that I have with a $59 a month membership, having one-on-one coaching calls with people for 90 minutes, having a $150 course, having YouTube channel reviews that I charge people for, having another course that's in development and that can be pre-ordered, having the YouTube starter kit for those of you who want to do YouTube. You want to do YouTube? This isn't a course. I have material in it that's as good as any course, but it's not a course. It's over 170 downloads. You've got like over 70 thumbnail templates. You've got YouTube channel artwork. You've got all these graphics packs, and it's like $100. There's a discount code for you in the description down below. And you can get this, and it's $99, plus you can use like my coupons on it when I do coupons, right? And it's like over 160, 170 download assets to make your YouTube channel look good. And we've got a ton of stuff in there. So when I say that I don't worry about YouTube ad revenue, the reason is that every day I'm making sales on my products, and every day I also get, some leads, and then I do a couple of coaching calls or YouTube channel reviews every month. So I have that. So even without YouTube ad revenue, which, is okay, I would be fine, because I do a lot. It's a lot easier to make money selling a product or a service. But I also have affiliate revenue. I have my podcast. So I don't worry about the YouTube ads, and that's why I protected myself from the adpocalypse before the adpocalypse ever happened. I was never really worried about the adpocalypse for me. I was worried about it for other creators that haven't built businesses that could support what they do, because I could do YouTube at a loss. That's the trick. I could do YouTube at a loss and be okay and use it just as marketing, to build my brand, to grow my email list, to convert sales, to do webinars. So I could do YouTube as a loss leader and it wouldn't be problematic for me. And I'm trying to get more people to do that. The other thing I did was I created merchandise. I created merchandise at robertoblake.com/shirts. That's not a huge revenue stream, but it's an important thing to do, is to have as many ways to make money. I do the affiliate stuff, and then I have recurring sponsor deals. Like TubeBuddy is a sponsor for today's live stream. So last live stream, we had another sponsor. So creating all these different avenues to make income, and if you look at my passive income video, you get a better idea of some things. I mean, it's just really practical to do anything else except try to make a living on YouTube ads. Everyone wants so desperately to be a YouTuber that they ignore all the reality that's put in front of them of why they should be more than a YouTuber. I'm not telling you to not start YouTube. That would be hypocritical. But I'm telling you to not put all your hopes and dreams into being a YouTuber, and don't let, oh, my dream is to be a YouTuber come out of your mouth, because you don't understand the reality. Not yet. So that's what I think, but everyone, I guess, can have their own opinion. I have facts. Based Shaman, $5 super chat. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Been looking the VPN service. Thanks, Roberto's. Tell Nord if you had an affiliate link that you would have already signed up with them. Thanks, Nan. I appreciate you. Yeah. Yeah, no, it'd be dope to work with NordVPN. I'm gonna reach out to them. Let's see. Wish Upon a Blog says, I'm just enjoying making videos on YouTube. Yeah, I mean, you can make videos to enjoy them. I mean, that's part of success too. The Radical Talk says, off topic, but are you going to watch the new Brawly movie? Yes. Absolutely. I mean, I'm wearing this shirt. Of course I'm going to watch the new Brawly movie. I'm so glad that was on trending, that trailer for the Dragon Ball Brawly movie. I mean, yeah, you can make some money off AdSense. I mean, it doesn't hurt, but like being dependent on it is a crutch. Being dependent on AdSense is a crutch because you don't control it. You're beholden to a couple of factors. I'm going to do a dedicated video on this, but ad inventory. How many ads are there to go around? PewDiePie talked about this. There's not enough ads to go around. Content rating and gating. Is your content advertiser friendly as deemed by Google and YouTube's algorithms? Your niche and demographics. How much is your audience worth to advertisers? Audience geography and location, geolocation. How much are ads worth in that country or in that place where your audience is? Advertising tiers. What level of value do you have for the advertiser? They dictate that. And we don't get to see what those rankings are. MCNs and direct sales ads. Do you have a multi-channel network that can push and sell more ads for you? If not, then you're at the mercy of YouTube. Or do you have your own ad sales team? Or otherwise you're at the mercy of the YouTube algorithm. Views that are monetizable are dictated by the YouTube algorithm. You don't even control if you get views no matter how hard you worked on a video. You don't control the views. YouTube's algorithm decides whether a video gets viewed or not. Because again, they don't push the subscribers even if you have them. Ad types and the amount of ads per video. What types of ads did you do? Did you do pre-roll ads? Did you do post-roll ads? How many ads did you put on a video? That matters. And then the Google revenue share of ad revenue, and then the split with your multi-channel network, that determines it. And then, of course, there's demonetization. You can't control whether you're demonetized or not. So think about all those things I just listed that are completely outside of your control that decide how much YouTube ad money you would get. You have no control over any of those things. So why would you even care about YouTube ad revenue when there's no way for you to control it? There's no amount of hard work. There's no amount of getting views. There's no amount of anything you can do to control how much ad revenue you would make if you really look at it objectively. Jade Logic says, watching your streams makes me not even want to do YouTube. LOL. Not saying this is bad. I'm just saying. I mean, I get how people could feel that way. I'm just saying that if you're feeling that way, it might be a sign. It might be a sign, dude. Jeffrey Eatley says, my whole plan is based on getting my name and brand out there in order to create other opportunities elsewhere, and I plan to diversify. That's smart, Jeffrey, and I respect that. That's what I did. That's what I did. Let's Talk Classic Hip Hop says, are MCN's multi-channel networks worth joining? If so, why or why not? At some point, I'll do a video about this. I'm not in love with this topic, but they can be, because when PewDiePie started, not gaming channels couldn't be monetized, couldn't be partnered, so they had to go with a multi-channel network. There are other genres in YouTube where certain things are harder. So for certain niches and genres of YouTube, certain types of channels, it makes sense to get a multi-channel network and to join a network instead of be independent, because for some people it could help depending on your type of channel or content. If you lean really heavily on fair use content, then some MCNs are good enough to help you with information or legal resources or to help you fight copyright claims. Some are not, but I mean, that's another resource at least, and they can help you. Some of them help with brand deals, and some of them are better at it than others. So that's real. So, I mean, everyone has to make a choice about how they want to run a business. And the other thing is, not everyone wants to manage everything for their own YouTube channel, and some of them can help with that. It just depends on what your multi-channel network is, what deal you're capable of negotiating. I'll tell you this, though. If you're a small YouTuber, I wouldn't do it. If you're a small YouTuber, if you're a larger YouTuber, it might make sense depending on what you can negotiate. So, that's what I think. Kid Gorilla says, Roberto, you taught me that YouTube is just a tool and that I have to treat it like one. Good for you, man. Appreciate that. Juice says, YouTube is nothing but a tool used to benefit your business. Yep. I mean, it's a tool, but it's also a community that you can use to draw support from. So I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge that. So I think that's important to acknowledge too. Cheryl Speak says, if you lose a copyright claim, does your channel receive a copyright strike? No, a copyright claim just means that they claim the revenue on that video. It's not the same as a strike. The Supine Smoky says, can I use the TubeBuddy pick a winner feature in my live streams? It only works on comments. It only works on comments, so it would be on a recorded video, so it could be after the live stream, but not during. Yep. So guys, we had nobody do any $20 super chats for channel reviews, so I guess we're gonna wrap this up. But we did have some great questions. I super appreciate that. We had a great interaction. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the stream today. I know you guys were missing Nick Nimmons' stream, Nick and D, from this morning, so I filled in for you for the afternoon. So I hope you enjoyed that. And it was good just to hang with you guys as a community. I think there's a lot you could take away from the stuff that we talked about in our discussion today. I spent a lot of time on the Logan Paul and Casey thing, but I think Casey was treated unfairly by a lot of people in the comments, and on the view and like ratio on that thing. I also think that it was just an important conversation for the community. Oh, we got 2 people who want channel reviews. Okay, I guess we'll do those 2 channel reviews because they did the rules, so they honored the rules, so we did that. So I guess I'm gonna look at them. So what I'm gonna do is, first of all, I'm gonna kind of queue up those channels to review. I'm gonna put on the music for like a brief intermission because I need to take a quick little intermission before I like review these channels for like 5 minutes pop or whatever, or 3 minutes a pop or whatever it is, that to get something useful and actionable for them. But we'll take, if anybody else wants to, follow the rules and do those super chats, we'll take like 2 or 3 more channel reviews and then we'll close out the stream. So again, I want to thank our sponsors. I want to thank our buddies at TubeBuddy. Link in the description down below for you guys. Make sure you're checking that out. And check out the resources in the stream. The stream is not over. I'm just going to throw on our theme music while I take a quick commercial break. So just hang tight for a second, you guys. I'll be right back. Stream's not over. Just let people know the stream's not over. So hang tight. All right, and we're back. So let's see. Let's see here. I need to make a like we'll be right back screen transition for when I do that. I'm gonna probably Photoshop one, not right this minute. So yeah, we'll do that. Let's see. Let's look at Super Nardful real quick. So just shy of 10K subscribers, and this is a game reaction channel. Or let's say it looks like it's a gaming and reaction channel. So let's start with some of the more obvious stuff here. Decent channel artwork, but it doesn't tell me anything about this channel, so I have no idea if I'm in the right place or what the deal is. So that immediately kind of bothers me. Like, always create some kind of context. Like, you have your social media stuff here, but the links for it are right over here in the right hand corner, so that's not as useful to me as a viewer. What's more useful to me as a viewer is knowing what the deal is with your channel, because I can't immediately figure it out. So we've got animation reactions, and we got basketball content, and then we've got gaming content, and then we have other reactions, and then we've got live streams. So your reaction channel, and you've got a community because you have almost 10,000 people. So you're doing something well. And let's look at views. Well, you're giving people more or less what they signed up for, because you have like 7,000 subscribers and you're getting views. So there is that. Obviously, I see. Let's look for a pattern, because like this is all anyone needs to do if they have content and they've been doing this for a minute. This is all anyone has to do to figure out what they should be doing. Sort your content by the most popular content on your channel, and look at that. So if you look at your channel, you've gotten some prolific views in the last couple of months off of doing very specific reactions. I would do more of what's working. Super Mario Brothers Z, Sonic stuff, anime stuff, stuff that crosses over anime and gaming, that is working on your channel. And gaming stuff, like the Wii Sports thing, well, that was a year ago that worked. A lot of the stuff that has worked is more recent on your channel. So guess what? I would stick to doing more of the Sonic shorts and the anime stuff. The basketball stuff is not getting nearly the views. The anime and gaming stuff is. On average, more of that performs than any of your basketball stuff. You might be into basketball, dude, but I would scrap it. I would scrap it, and I would just make you being in the basketball kind of a bit or a joke in the humor of your channel. So I would do that. I would consider, to make your content maybe feel more original, is I might create an opening skit for your reactions. I haven't even watched your content, but here's the thing. I know how to make your content better without even watching it yet. I'm going to take a peek at like a couple of seconds of a video, but here's the thing. We just already looked at all of your content, and we figured out that you can get hundreds of thousands of views, and you can get up there as a reaction channel if you focus on what's working. Because look at the rest of this stuff from a year ago that didn't work, and look at all the stuff that didn't work. Don't do those things if they're not working, clearly. Because as we scroll up, here's where we begin to hit stuff that works. Stuff that's with the Nintendo Switch is working for you. Stuff that's with Sonic is working with you. You're tapping into a Sonic fan base. I love Sonic the Hedgehog. Like, you're tapping into that. I would do more of the content that would allow you to tap into that. The Wii Sports stuff, it could work. I mean, it worked a year ago. It could work. The Super Mario Brothers Z stuff, that works. Tap into similar things. The Nazo reactions, those work. Just literally do what's working and eliminate and not do things that isn't working. That's literally how channels become successful. You'll notice that most channels that are successful are doing the topic that works for them, the theme that works for them, and then they're nailing their thumbnails. They're getting people to click, and that matters. Picking reactions to series can help you with recommended, and can help you with getting other people who viewed the last thing to view the rest, or to binge watch your channel. So I would do that. Eric Rayweather, look in the description for how the rules for channel reviews are working, because I'm only honoring them if people play by the rules. I'm only doing channel reviews based on people following the specific rules in the description that I wrote. That's the deal. So please read the rules. Please, 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 please. Because I have to honor the rules. That's why they're there. That's why they're there. So let's take a quick look at something you did 2 months ago that performed very well for you. We're just going to take a quick glance just so I can sense what your production values are. Consider making it so that when you're watching, the eye level can let you maintain either some kind of eye contact with the audience, or that you can look at the thing that they're seeing on the screen. And I would maybe make some cool design. I think I have something for live reactions or reaction channels in the Photoshop templates of my YouTube starter kit, linked in the description down below, awesomecreatoracademy.com, that would let this look like a more interesting background. I'd also say that for your watermark, make that much more interesting to get people to potentially subscribe to it. I'd also say a better profile pic. Your camera stuff, it's not bad. The lighting is making you a little too orange. Also, look into MAC Cosmetics, MAC Makeup, to get anti-reflection wipes. Anti-reflection wipes can help with that, so that the light doesn't, bounce off of your face. If you have a darker complexion like me, that becomes kind of important to do. So I would look into that. But people like your humor. I don't have anything, and I'm not listening to the audio to do that. I would just say, for a quick 5-minute review, the simple answer is this. We've proven what works on your channel. Eliminate from your lineup of future videos things that have not historically performed like this has. Focus and milk nostalgia. The things that have worked for you are not just Sonic, it's when you milk nostalgia. So between anime, gaming, Sonic, and Mario, and triggering nostalgia, that's worked. When you haven't done that, you look at how the videos perform. All the Wii Sports stuff, most of it didn't perform. So for you to get these kind of views on videos with this many subscribers, focus on what works and do reactions to things that are popular enough, and you'll be fine. Just really build a good content strategy. You'll be fine. Let's see. So dignity, human rights in daily life. I want to see a much nicer, more professional banner than this, because the colors are confusing. And this thing in the right, it's not a logo, so I don't understand what it means. And so I'd rather see a human face as the profile picture. Dignity, I would probably name the channel Dignity with all caps, and I would put human rights in there. It's good that you say that it's second and fourth Tuesdays Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m., but that doesn't feel consistent enough, and that's confusing to figure out. I'd rather you just do every Tuesday if you can manage that. I would just upload every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I think that's important. These thumbnails are not great. Look at Evan Carmichael as a good example of what you could do for thumbnails. Also consider buying the YouTube starter kit, awesomecreatoracademy.com. down below. And I'm not just plugging the YouTube Starter Kit just to plug it. It's like looking at the issues on channels. I'm seeing thumbnails are a big one. And I told you guys, topic, title, thumbnail, most important things that decide whether or not someone's going to watch something. That's how all of you are deciding what you're going to watch. Topic, title, and thumbnail. Your topics are important. They're issues. You're getting views. They could be better if the thumbnails were better. And having this logo that really doesn't seem to mean anything in the corner, I don't think there's any upside or value in that. These thumbnails need to get drastically better. And I think you need to upload every Tuesday. Let's see what the production values look like. Come on, YouTube. Stop being so god-awful slow. So let's see what production values look like. These are probably going to be normal talking head style videos, so the production values are probably fine. The production values are fine for what they are. I'm not sure why you went with the cinematic widescreen, but it's fine if you did. If you're going to do slides like that, I think that the graphics should be much more interesting. And I think the color schemes have to be easier to read. Lime green on blue is not easy to read, so I would fix all of that. I would go to something just very simple and easy to read. So those are my thoughts on this channel and what you could do to improve it. And I think that would be infinitely better. Oh, by the way, Beanie Draws, thank you for the $2 super chat just because. Thank you. I appreciate you. Unbox Warehouse, let's see what you've been up to. Yeah, the super chat reviews have a $20 minimum to them. I stated that early on, and it's in the description. I told everyone follow the rules in the description when I announced we were doing this. So I can't be held responsible for anyone's expectations if they didn't follow the rules. Love the channel artwork, of course. I love that. You know, I love how you do that. Thumbnails. Like, let's see. So for less than 5,000 subscribers, when you knock it out of the park, you knock it out of the park. The drone, the Power Egg drone by Power Vision, this got people's attention because this was a like, what the heck? So yeah. The hot dog toaster review, I think I would have needed a bigger picture of that without you in the thumbnail to kind of wrap my head around that. It was smart for you to tap into the Yanni versus Laurel thing. You've been hit or miss on videos, but for your style of content, that's fairly reasonable. Generally speaking, it looks like the channel's been on a good upward trend. I think your unique thumbnails are helping. Let's see what is performing. Man, seeing that hot dog toaster is making me hungry. I can't do this too long because I gotta eat now. I'm hungry. So in the last couple of months, a couple of good videos, good solid videos that have landed because you tapped into things that were happening in the world. Surprised you didn't tap into the MacBook Pro thing. I think that could have been good for you. The channel is doing healthy overall. You just got to get solid at picking your topics, dude, and picking your titles. You've got thumbnails right. I think you just got to get better at picking topics that will get attention and then landing it on the title. But I mean, because I've seen your production values are fine. There's there's nothing to criticize. Like, you put work into building a good set. It's unique to you. The wood table brick wall thing, it looks good. So I think everyone's fine with that. So good job. Again, yeah, good cinematography, demonstrating the drone thing. Like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with this. And it got 30,000 views. There's nothing wrong with this. So, God, I'm hungry. Feed the Roberto. Don't forget to feed the Roberto. So, rich roots. Okay. So, this tells me some things. Curious Halls, travel, thrive, provide, connect. It tells me what your brand values are, but it doesn't tell me what to expect from these videos. You're telling me what your values are, but you're not telling me what I'm gonna watch. So that I take a little bit of an issue with. Your views are, it depends on the video, clearly. So, I'd say your views aren't terrible for the amount of subscribers you have. Again, view to subscriber ratios don't mean anything, but they mean something to you guys, so I have to bring it up. You've got a consistent thumbnail strategy, but I could see where it would get repetitive to where people don't understand if a video is a new video or not. So think about that. I mean, if you were doing Netflix stuff, you would not do it this way as far as the thumbnails. So kind of keep that in mind, that you're not making the thumbnails different enough and you're not making the titles different enough. What's historically performed on the channel? And also, there seem to be too many things that go off topic. The things that have performed have to do with roots and with hair and braids and natural hair and things of that nature. So I would literally stick to that topic and not be a vlogger. And you really got to differentiate these thumbnails, because there's no way for a viewer to not know it's not the same video. The way it is, that just doesn't work. And then this title structure of real, weak, number 32, no part, like that isn't giving nearly enough context. The Veda thing, the structuring of the titles, like when people do Veda, they really need to structure the titles differently than what they've done. Maybe I should make a should you do Veda video coming up. I mean, it's too last minute, but maybe I should do one. But so that, my advice would be that you need to differentiate these thumbnails. You need to get a different titling structure and give context to what someone's clicking on. And I would change your banner to tell me what the topic and theme of the channel is, so that I understand. Because your values, it's fine to demonstrate what your values are, but this doesn't tell me as a viewer what to expect, and so that makes it hard. So because I wouldn't know what the channel is about, I'd have to guess. And everyone values their time. No one wants to guess at things. So that's a problem. Eric Rayweather, like, I normally wouldn't do this. Because the description says $20, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you like one piece of, I'm going to look at your thing real quick and give you one piece of advice, because you just want advice on your thumbnails and titles. I'm going to make it like super short because I said 20 and I put it in the description. You're at 75k views. I'm sorry, 75k subs. I'm not sure. You may, or I guess you might just be like curious as to what could be better. Because I'm like, you don't need help. You're doing fine. You're crushing it. But let's see the views. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what you're up to. Oh yeah, you're getting views. There's nothing wrong. You're getting views. And the way the current algorithm works, I have no reason to believe you won't continue to get views. Like, yeah, Eric Rayweather, there's nothing wrong with what you're doing. You are getting a ridiculous view to sub ratio. I mean, Evan, like, doesn't get these views with 1 million subscribers, dude. Like, you're fine. Like, I don't get those kind of views. Like, you're fine. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with these views. And your thumbnails, because like your thumbnails for being a Madden gamer, you're doing it exactly right. If I was going to do anything, I would teach YouTube gamers, especially gamers in the sports niche of YouTube, to do exactly what you're doing. I would use your thing as a teaching lesson. I also think, are you using the YouTube starter kit? Because it looks like you might be, which is awesome. I appreciate that if it is the truth, but if not, you're just good at thumbnails. But dude, your stuff is baller. You're fine. Like, there's nothing to worry about here. You don't need advice. Yeah, I see it. You are using the YouTube starter kit. I can tell. You're using the YouTube starter kit. No wonder. It's working. But yeah, you're getting it. You're getting views, dude. You're getting views. Almost none of your recent videos have missed. Like some older videos a couple of months ago, yeah, you had some hit or miss stuff. But relative to your audience growth and your audience base, it was fine. And you've been getting the clicks. So I'm seeing that. Yep, I can see where you changed your thumbnail style to using the YouTube starter kit. And then right now, this week, like, you're crushing it. As long as you put out daily videos, dude, as long as you put out daily videos, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. As long as you're putting out daily videos, I think you're going to be all right. Because you're killing it. You're killing it. So for you, content strategy, I mean, the only thing we can do is, I guess we could look at what your most popular videos are. But like right now, Madden 2019 is your content strategy. Madden 2019 is your content strategy. I mean, look at this. One of your most popular videos of all time was from 2 weeks ago. New things were added. 5 things they removed. Smart. 5 things. Like, maybe you do a 10 things video. Maybe you do a top 10 video. Because, like, yeah. Like, some more top 5s and some more top 10s. Some 19 things, 19 facts for the Madden stuff. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Get it. Like, that's all you need. You're doing fine. You're doing fine. Like, wished upon a vlog wants a channel review. Okay, we'll do one. Let's see here. Wished upon a vlog. All right. Big fan of Ahsoka Tano. Yep, me too. Big fan of Star Wars. Yep, me too. 132 subscribers. So you said your thing says wished upon a vlog. You could change your channel name. Thumbnails could be better. I would focus on Star Wars because I'm already telling that that's your most popular content and you're a big fan like me. I would definitely get a better banner. I would commission somebody in DeviantArt or Upwork, or God forbid Fiverr. I hate Fiverr, but it's cheap for you guys. And get some channel artwork and do that and make that channel artwork baller. So I would do that. I would consider using your own face. And like an example of somebody who does like what you could be doing very well is, I'm sure you're familiar with Jenny Nicholson. Like, I would say that you should study Jenny Nicholson's channel a little bit. Not copy her, not steal from her, but I would say you should study what she does very well. She focuses a lot on movies and franchises that are popular. So she picks a really strong topic for her videos, and then she gets a really interesting title. And then even without doing design, she does set design for her thumbnails and photography for her thumbnails. So this is what matters. This is what matters. This is why I say that title sorry, topic, title, and thumbnail, and then everything else comes after that. Like if I were gonna say, it's like the 4 most important things for every YouTuber, like, or something like that. I'll come up with a better title for it or something like that. 4 things every YouTuber should do. Like, I would say, or like, no, I know exactly how to do that video. It's like literally it's just gonna be the video where I say like how to get more subscribers in YouTube fast 2018. Like, that's all I have to do for the title. But and then I can tell people about the 4 or 5 things they need to know. That's fine. And that's how I get them to watch most of the video. See, mission accomplished. I just structured how to do a video, right? But if you look at what Jenny Nicholson is doing, she's got the topic, pop culture and franchises, and mostly it's geek culture stuff. Good topic. Good titles for that topic. You know, she did the Purge movie, Jurassic World, Star Wars, like, very smart. And then the thumbnails, with a very simple and basic set design, still are interesting enough to click on because you're like, what is this? And yeah, I care about that thing. It's easy to identify. It's easy to make a decision to say, yeah, I'm going to kill X amount of minutes on this video. It's not hard. So what I'm saying is, if I look at your channel, I don't see any reason that you couldn't, for what you're doing, accomplish the same thing if you were strategic about the topic's title and thumbnail. I would also change the name of the title, of the channel, possibly, because I don't think it creates any context. And I would focus on franchises. I would hit Star Wars and Marvel and the Disney properties the hardest in terms of topic and title. I would focus there. I mean, you're getting views. So, but I'm telling you literally how to become a 100,000 subscriber channel right now. Because if you can do that and you can do daily content, like, you're fine. Also, don't get into the Star Wars hate train thing, because that trend is going to die really soon, because it was never sustainable, but it's game over. It's game over. They just gave us Clone Wars back. Clone Wars has been saved. So, like, oh, I love Clone Wars. Regardless of the movies, I love Clone Wars. Oh, an animated series. Yeah, the thing they got right. Oh, my God, they're bringing back adult Ahsoka Tano. Everybody's like, oh, a female character done right. Ahsoka Tano. Like, so, all right, game over. All right, now whatever hate you had from Star Wars, diminished by half if you were in that fan base. Okay, the hate just decreased by 50% right there. Oh, episode 9... I'm getting Lando? Well, I want Billy D. Williams. I want Lando. Yeah. And then, oh, unused footage of Carrie Fisher. My princess, Leia, is back. Like, unused footage. Oh, those last moments, we lost her too soon. Like, the nostalgia is real. All of a sudden, oh, I'll give it a chance for Carrie. I'll give it a chance for Billy D. Oh, Luke is gonna be back. It's like, all right, you know what? Hamill himself is saying this is gonna be fine and that he's back. I'm like, yeah, I love Luke Skywalker. My whole problem with The Last Jedi was, oh, I didn't like what happened to Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker's back. Hamill's back. All right, okay, I'll give it a chance. All right, I'm getting Hamill. I'm getting Carrie. I'm getting Luke and Leia. I'm like, So again, the Star Wars, like, understanding the trend of your niche, and like, I'm not trying to get into the war of the Star Wars fan base kind of thing, but I'm making a point that it's like, there are some people who tried to ride the Star Wars hate train that their channels are not going to survive that, because nerddom is passionate, but it's also fickle. It's like, once you dangle the carrot of nostalgia and give us even a little bit of what we want, it's like, oh, we'll give something a chance. Like Dragon Ball fans are like, oh, this movie, I don't know about this movie. And then it's like, I don't know about the character design. And then, wait, it's about Broly? Like, wait a minute. I think this is going to be garbage. Then the trailer dropped and it's, oh my God, yes, please, and thank you. So just understand your audience and the fandom and the base of who your target viewer is, and then act accordingly. So like I said, I feel like you've got a good foundation. You got a good foundation for a successful channel. I just think you have to tune those things up and study success, and you'll be fine. So that would be my advice. That's how I would do it. That's how I would approach it. With the exception being that if I did a Star Wars channel, I'll crush everybody because I could do the voice of Emperor Palpatine right on command. I could do this very effectively. An entire legion of my finest warriors is waiting for anyone who wants to dispute me. So yeah, I can do Emperor Palpatine, and I can do whole bits like that indefinitely. So I could make a very successful Star Wars channel because I know how to tap into a level of talent. Oh, because that's the other factor. So topics, title, thumbnail, actual talent matters. So that's something to consider. So yep, and then we got another channel here. I think this is Jesse St. Louis. Hello, St. Louis. So yeah, Jesse St. Louis. Oh, travel and adventure vlogs. Okay, so first of all, this is the dopest. This is the dopest channel banner art I've seen in a minute. I'm immediately impressed with this, guys. This is how you get people to take your channel seriously, ladies and gentlemen. This is how you get people to actually give a crap about things. And look at these thumbnails. Of course we're gonna click on, like, Jesus. Yeah. This is legit. Good job, Jesse. Christ. Like, this is good stuff. So, Jesse nails and sticks the landing on branding. I'm going to give it to him on branding, and he's got a good color scheme. It's even in the photography. And the way that he poses the shots, the way that he composes them, they're interesting. Some of them could be better, but mostly it's nailed. So good job, man. Like, I might actually... that happened. So there you go. Making me want to travel. And I'm tired from traveling, and I've got travel coming up right now. I've got to go to Texas to speak at Vid Summit. Then when I get back, I'm here in Dragon Con Atlanta speaking on panels, and then after that, it's off to New York and Florida, and like, oh my God, my travel schedule is going to be just brutal. It's going to be insufferable. But it's going to be good stuff for my career, but it's just like traveling's hard on your body, and it's hard on everything, and it's hard mentally to balance doing your work, so like... But dude, you make me want to travel. See, that's the thing. Even just looking at this stuff gets me excited. Looking at his thumbnails, looking at the adventure, looking at the story frames here, it makes me excited. And like, I think your border design was good. And you're capturing what you're doing with travel. Let's look at your production values. I know they're gonna be baller because I'm like, there's no way they can't. There's no way your production values aren't good. There's no way, unless it's all shot on a GoPro, and then that's iffy. All right, you're in an exotic location. Framing's good. My bandwidth is probably, and my load time is probably not indicative of the quality of your... Oh, this is gorgeous. Oh, you give me a montage at the beginning of the... yeah, I'm going to stick around for the video. It's gorgeous blue water. I'm done. Yeah, like, that's all I need. You could do a better animated title. If you made that on your own, just commission somebody, pay somebody to make you a better animated title. And you're fine. Maybe a better profile pic. Something that matches all of this a little bit better. I kind of would like the idea of a profile pic with you with that hat, or you bald, or with your cap, or whatever. Just something nice and clean and blue, because I like the theme you got going here, and I like the colors. The branding and the fact that, like, with the blue and all of your shirts when you travel should be blue from now on to match your branding. That's all I want. All I want. So, Jesse, kudos. Kudos to you. How would I make that banner? Photoshop, my brother. Photoshop. It's like, I am a Photoshop god. This is not a difficult thumbnail for me to make. Yeah. But he also staged the photography of that very well. Now, this hand lettering, either somebody did it or it's a ridiculously good font pack. But yeah, no, this is good. This is good. I'm impressed. Yeah. Small YouTubers do big things. Like this is gorgeous. This is amazing. This is an amazing channel. Yeah, you guys should subscribe to this if you want to get out of the house. Yeah, I'm doing panels at DragonCon, Andrew. I'm like doing like 4 of them. After I come back from Video Marketing World speaking, I have to come back like slightly early, and I hope I make it to all the panels I have to do. But yeah, I'm also heading up a YouTube panel, so. Rehana Itana says, just to bug you at Super Chat text message to follow. Okay. I have no idea what that means. But thank you for the $10. Studio Geek. Studio Geek, you don't get a review for $2. You didn't read the rules, clearly. So, no, I'm not doing that. I put the rules. I've said it multiple times, and the rules are in the descriptions. I tell everybody to read the rules. I'm not going to be held responsible for disappointment when you don't read the rules. See, one of the things YouTube needs to do for Super Chat is let you have a pinned comment for Super Chat, so I could pin something like what the rules are and have it stay above the channel stuff the entire time. So, yeah. Juice asks, Roberto, may I pay you to make me a channel banner? No, I don't design channel banners. But here's what you could do. If you go to awesomecreatoracademy.com and you use the link in the description, in addition to YouTube thumbnail banners that I've done, I have YouTube channel banners, and we're going to add more to that in the YouTube starter kit, which means you can make your own YouTube. You can customize this, and you can get a really good piece of channel artwork for yourself. Because I designed some really dope stuff for you guys. So, and end cards and everything. So you can design all this stuff with just minimal skills by copying and replacing everything, putting in your text, dropping in your photos. That's why I built the YouTube starter kit. It's a really good product, and you can get that at awesomecreatoracademy.com. Link is in the description down below. Link is in the description down below. If you're a 5K channel and you're looking for sponsors, go to famebit.com if you want to get sponsored. But other than that, really, to be honest with you, you shouldn't be looking for sponsors until you're a larger channel and you know what you can do for sponsors and you can pitch them, because that's about you taking, not giving value to the sponsor at that level when you're a small creator. Because to be very frank, it's hard for you as a small creator to promise them anything and deliver on it. So I'm not a fan of you. Like, I understand what you guys are trying to do, or that you're trying to make some side money, but like, I've done so many other things on how to make money online that I would rather you do those things than try to take money from sponsors and let them down and not deliver. Yep. So guys, that's it for the live stream. That's it for channel reviews. That is it for our time together today. I want to thank our sponsor, TubeBuddy. Make sure you go into tubebuddy.com. Link is in the description down below. Thank you, TubeBuddy, for sponsoring. Use the discount code Roberto's Buddy, and you will get 20% off of TubeBuddy, the best tool for helping you grow your YouTube channel. So, I mean, we covered a lot. We covered new features. We covered analytics. We did some channel reviews here. Jesse is the awesome creator of the day because his channel is dope. We talked about Logan Paul and all of his problematic things. All of the problematic things with Mr. Logan Paul. We talked about how Casey deserves more credit for the interview that he conducted, and you know, Casey's just a good dude. So we also talked about new YouTube features. We talked about analytics. We talked about YouTube not pushing your videos to your subscribers as per usual, but I think they're trying to work on that, so I'm not razzing them too hard. I mean, they get more right than wrong. So Is the TUBEBUDDY discount for the first month or every month? It's for every month, is my understanding. It's for every month. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in today for the stream. Hope you guys got something out of it. Make sure you are subscribed and that you have notifications turned on, or you'll never get any videos from me ever. Also, new schedule for me for uploads, at least for Monday through Friday. I'm going to be uploading, or trying to, at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. So if you want my videos, subscribe, hit notifications, but also follow me on Twitter at Roberto Blake, and understand that yes, usually I will be uploading around 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Noon Eastern Standard Time is what we're doing for my content, Monday through Friday. The weekends will be iffy. But it'll be Monday through Friday. Rich Roots, you just became a sponsor? Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you to all the sponsors. Thank you to everybody who did super chats. Thank you to everybody who did super chats and did things, because now we can feed the Roberto. So that's awesome. Hashtag feed the Roberto. But yeah. Thanks guys for chilling with me on a Saturday. I know you could have been doing anything else. You could have been doing any number of things to entertain or amuse yourself. So thanks for hanging out with me, spending a little bit of time. Thank you for some wonderful questions, all the engagement, and thank you for being awesome. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night wherever you are. Don't forget, go out there and create something awesome today. Take care.